Hey fam, ready to meet our latest MC? This is Bong Ji-hyuk. He's a broke 25-year-old working 3 part-time jobs and living in a cramped rooftop apartment in the slums. Tonight, it's instant ramen. Again, he's about to dig into his sad little noodles when a giant glowing blue screen blinks to life in front of his face. Bong Ji-hyuk, you have awakened. He's so shocked that he burns his mouth. Youch. You see folks, for some lucky souls, an awakening is better than winning the lottery. A golden ticket to flip your entire miserable life around. That's okay if you're a Sun Jin-woo. But our boy here is the world's biggest wimp. It's been 0.05 seconds since he awakened, and he's already imagining getting ripped apart. Frozen, cooked, poisoned, or flattened by a trap. All the possible miserable deaths you can encounter in the tower, he already has a list for that. Dude's basically a walking proceed with caution sign. He decides to check out his powers. What's this? His trait is summoning. Skill that lets you summon beasts, magical or otherwise, to fight for you. He wonders what kind of summoner he is. Skill, summon, he yells. Nothing. He tries again. Random summon? Still nothing. Then he remembers. Player skills only work inside the tower. But suddenly, a new window blinks to life. Beginning random summon. Wait, what? A vortex tears open in his tiny room and a figure appears. Ji-hyuk's jaw hits the floor. Why is it working? And, is that a person? Summon man grins and throws a salute. That's right. I'm human. Suddenly, the stranger takes a big whiff of the air. Is that ramen? Can I have just one bite? Without waiting, the man grabs the chopsticks and inhales the noodles while Ji-hyuk thinks, great, I summoned a one-bite guy who took every bite. Hold up, a skill firing outside the tower plus a human summon on top of it? This has never happened before. Time to check out who he just pulled from the gacha of the afterlife. John Cossack, super rare grade assassin, known as the deranged assassin of the Cruel Guild. A troublemaker with a 99% mission success rate, and with a very, strange fascination with red bows. Suddenly, a jolt information floods his skull. His vision blurs and he's yanked straight into a memory to Cossack's last day on Earth. This master killer's flawless streak ends with a single failure. He went up against the Empire's strongest sword master. It does not go well. His body gets cut clean in half. What's up, boss? Cossack asks creepily. Ji-hyuk scrambles backward. Cossack apologizes and asks what his master wants him to do. Then Ji-hyuk remembers the golden rule. A summon has to obey its master. Absolutely. So naturally, he starts with the truly important stuff. Chores. Cossack blitzes around the room, cleaning everything in seconds without a single complaint. Best roommate ever, technically. Wiping down the table, he cheerfully confirms he'll follow any order at all. An idea sparks. Bark for me, like a dog. The instant it leaves his mouth, Ji-hyuk regrets it. Did he go too far? But then Cossack happily starts yipping like an overexcited puppy. Ji-hyuk gives a thumbs up. The absolute obedience is real. Free will has officially left the chat. Suddenly, there's a loud banging at the door. A voice yells for Bong Ji-hyuk to open up. Oh no, he forgot. It's interest payment day. Friends, here's the backstory. He borrowed 10 million won from a loan shark after every bank turned him away, all for his father's hip surgery and his little brother's tuition. He's already bled over 5 million in interest alone. It was a terrible decision, but for his family, he'd do it again in a heartbeat. The banging gets louder, and his assassin, grinning from ear to ear, declares, just give the order, boss. I'll cut off his head and bring it to you. Absolutely not. Ji-hyuk shoves him toward the bathroom and orders him to hide and stay dead quiet. He opens the door and is instantly yanked forward by a hulking, scar-faced man dripping in gold chains. Ji-hyuk swears he already sent the payment. The loan shark sneers that if he's ever short, he can always sell a kidney. Or his little brother. The mention of his family, Ji-hyuk's face goes cold with quiet fury. The loan shark clocks the look. What? You gonna hit me? Ji-hyuk instantly slaps on a sweaty, panicked smile and denies everything. Shark strolls off with a parting gift. Be careful. If you die, no one would even notice. Once the coast is clear, Cossack pops out of the bathroom, proudly reporting that he hid quietly, exactly as ordered. Completely drained, Ji-hyuk wonders if he should risk the tower for money. Nah, he's far too much of a wimp for that. Cossack asks what's next. Ji-hyuk offers to just release him and send him home. But Cossack has other plans. Can I watch some TV? Too tired to care. Ji-hyuk says sure. At night, Ji-hyuk drifts off to the sound of a K-dramas while his personal assassin binges. Weirdly, having someone there doesn't feel bad. As he fades out, it almost feels comforting. The next morning, his alarm blares at 8 a.m. He wonders if Cossack got released overnight. Yeah, he kinda half remembers the system window announcing that. He shrugs it off and starts getting ready for work while watching the morning breaking news. Report. A bizarre murder at an illegal private lender called Smile Cash. Ji-hyuk goes still. Smile Cash. That's the name of his loan company. His toothbrush drops as the anchor says 3 victims were found with their heads severed. And the cherry on top. Every severed head was decorated with a bright red ribbon. A memory flashes back of Cossack, humming happily, tying a red ribbon onto a severed head. Everything clicks into place. It was John Cossack. Ji-hyuk screams, clutching his head. I summoned a full-blown serial killer. The next morning, the news confirms it. A bizarre and bloody incident at Smile Cash. It's a total massacre with 3 severed heads, each one gift-wrapped with a bright red ribbon. Joo-hyuk stares at his phone, a single, soul-crushing thought looping in his brain. He is completely and utterly screwed. Just then, a customer calls for him. He turns around, and his brain blue screens. It's a headless loan shark, holding up his severed head, asking for a price check. His vision warps, and suddenly the entire store is stocked with decapitated heads. He lets out a scream and stumbles backward, crashing right into a display. Turns out he was just staring at a lady holding a normal, non-head-related gift box. Joo-hyuk frantically apologizes. A total mess. Yeah, he's in no condition to be working. He calls out from all his jobs for the next day. Walking home through the snow, he can't shake the question. Did he just get 3 people killed? Back in his tiny rooftop apartment, he checks Cossack's info again. Yep, still a deranged assassin. He knows the summon can't hurt their summoner, but sitting in front of the portal, he's still terrified. He needs answers. Taking a deep breath, he performs a targeted summon for John Cossack. The system dings, but something's new. It's asking for a satisfaction rating first. A 5-star rating system pops up, so it's basically an Uber review for his summoned psycho. He's furious. He told Cossack to watch TV, and the dude went on a killing spree. He's ready to slam that 1-star button, but he hesitates. He just can't bring himself to be that cruel. He settles on a neutral 3 stars. He thinks about his mom, a water purifier coordinator, and how much bad ratings can hurt. For a softie like him, 1 star is just too savage. With a flash of light, John Cossack appears, saluting with a huge smile. It's good to see you again. The guy is literally beaming. Thank you for the 3 stars. I'll work even harder. How can a triple murderer look so innocent? Joo-hyuk cuts straight to the point. That loan shark from yesterday, did you kill him, Mr. Cossack? Cossack's smile doesn't even twitch. Yep, I took care of it last night. His stomach drops. The man in front of him is a killer, and his heart is pounding out of his chest. Tries to calm down, repeating the #1 rule. At least Cossack won't hurt him. Joo-hyuk asks how he even found them. Cossack explains he tagged them with a mark of tracking when they invaded. A tracking skill? Stunned, Joo-hyuk asks why he would go that far. Cossack's reasoning is simple. They were a threat, so it's better to deal with them proactively. Joo-hyuk argues he never gave that order. But that's because of the summon's 3 principles. Specifically, Clause 3. Cossack cheerfully explains the fine print. Protect the summoner, obey the summoner, and if those conflict, protection always comes first. So if Joo-hyuk ordered Cossack to kill him, he'd refuse? Cossack throws up an X with his arms. Big nope. Joo-hyuk argues that Cossack made a totally arbitrary call. Cossack just says that Clause 3 is open to interpretation, and he saw them as a future risk. No, that's just psycho. Joo-hyuk cuts himself off and apologizes. Cossack just shrugs it off, saying he's heard it before. This is bad. Joo-hyuk realizes Cossack's definition of a threat is dangerously broad. Imagines a simple scenario. He and Cossack are walking, and they accidentally bump into some tough guy. The thug would probably just yell something like, "You wanna die?" With Cossack's psycho logic, that empty threat earns the guy a one-way trip to a gift-wrapped box. The thought makes him shudder. No matter what, it always ends with a ribbon. Suddenly, Cossack drops to his knees. I was wrong. Joo-hyuk is baffled. Dude, why are you kneeling? Get up. Joo-hyuk tries to explain carefully. Look, murdering people for me is not helpful. In fact, it's very, very unhelpful, so don't do it again. Joo-hyuk makes him promise no more killing unless there's literally a knife at his throat. Cossack snaps to attention with a sharp salute. Understood. I will assess situations carefully. Relieved, Joo-hyuk dismisses him. Okay, you can go back now. But just before he vanishes, Cossack asks a question. Summoner, by any chance, are you not going to climb the tower? Joo-hyuk clenches his fist. He knows the tower is a massive opportunity, but honestly, the thought of dying is terrifying. Ask if Cossack had another summoner before. There was, Cossack says with a fond smile, calling them strong and brave. The praise just makes Joo-hyuk feel worse. He admits he just doesn't have the guts to risk his life. He keeps putting himself down. I know, I'm a pathetic coward. But Cossack declares with a blinding smile, Summoner Bong is truly the best summoner. Wait, what? He grabs Joo-hyuk's shoulders. What's the best virtue for a summoner? It's safety first. Cossack explains that being brave is just dangerous. If the summoner dies, he'll just go back to whatever void he came from. Not good. Don't worry, I'll do everything. You just focus on staying safe and living a long, long life. That night, Joo-hyuk can't sleep, agonizing over whether he should actually climb the tower. He decides against it. A guy like him has no business in the tower. He should just be grateful his debt is gone. He gets up and stretches, resolving to just work hard at his normal jobs. He's sure things will get better. Just then his phone rings. It's his dad. Joo-hyuk asks about his rehab, then dad drops a bomb. He needs to transfer to a bigger, more expensive hospital. And the bad news keeps coming. Not only does he need the hospital transfer, but mom's also just been fired from her job. Tries to play it cool, but the second he hangs up, the stress hits him like a truck. He just stares at his phone in silence. The weight of his family's problems has just come crashing back down. So, with no other choice, he gears up for the tower. And by that, I mean a construction helmet, a baseball bat, and a caution sign for a shield. His plan is simple. Take a quick peek, and if it's too dangerous, he's bailing. First, he needs to summon his ace. But wait, an idea hits him. He doesn't have to stick with the deranged assassin. What if he tries summoning someone else? Maybe his gacha luck will be better this time. He grins, thinking, who knows, maybe a legend special super rare will pop up. But the system immediately shuts him down. Random summon is unavailable. Turns out, there's a cooldown for a whole month. So much for that plan. With no other option, he summons Cossack, who appears in a flash, saluting and thanking him for the 5-star rating. He just looks confused by the whole traffic cone chic vibe. Juhyuk tells him he's decided to enter the tower, just for a little look-see. Cossack immediately dumps Juhyuk's DIY gear. You won't need that. I'll become your tool and your hunting dog, he declares. He promises to handle everything. Once inside, don't lift a finger. I'll take care of it all, comfortably and safely. With that, they start the process. Floor 1 of the Black Tower of Korea is a go. And with that, our favorite safety-first pair fly into the tower. And just like that, Juhyuk is ripped through a vortex of digital code, screaming his head off. They're blasting through this data stream at light speed, with Cossack just carrying him like it's nothing. Bam! They slam down inside a barren cavern, sealed off by a glowing hexagonal barrier. So this is the inside of the Black Tower. Juhyuk, now suddenly wearing a construction helmet, takes one look around and his stomach does a complete backflip. And there it is. He unleashes a cartoon rainbow of vomit. Cossack says he will get used to it. Once Juhyuk is done redecorating the floor, Cossack announces it is time to leave the safe zone. The second they step out, system windows pop up. His abilities are enhanced and his skills are officially online. He feels a surge of power even at level 1. So this is what being a player feels like. And here is the first mission. Defeat 5 tough-skinned fatty maggots in under 2 hours. Sounds appetizing. Cossack immediately spots their targets up ahead. They look like giant armored slug monsters crawling on the ground. Juhyuk's gamer knowledge kicks in. These things are basically tutorial mobs. They have 0 attack power, but their skin is like a tank. He remembers reading that it takes most normal players about 30 minutes to kill just one of these things. But he is a player now, right? He clenches his fist, determined to take one down all by himself. He marches forward, leaving a stunned Cossack behind, who is trying to tell him he does not have to struggle. Juhyuk confidently squares up to the first maggot, trying to look like a total pro. And he freezes. He forgot one tiny, super important detail. Oh right, a weapon, he mutters, turning back to Cossack. But it is way too late. The maggot rears up, its whole body glowing with a nasty green light from its giant mouth. Bro is cooked. Our boy is frozen solid, sweating buckets as he stares death right in the face. He starts backing away, his confidence totally gone as he meekly calls for help. And Cossack just gives him a cheerful thumbs up. A wise decision, he shouts. In a blur, Cossack zips past him and slams his fist straight into the maggot, which just explodes into a shower of green goo. He tells Juhyuk to stand back while he effortlessly shatters the other maggots with pure energy. His fists start glowing with an intense blue aura as he preps a massive attack. He unleashes a storm of energy blades that just slice through the air, shredding the rest of the maggots. He calls out the attack name, Blade Explosion. The shredded pieces then detonate in a massive chain reaction. Juhyuk's jaw is on the floor. Cossack just sliced through those tanky mobs like they were made of paper. And the system notifications go wild. Mission complete. Level up, a magic crystal, and a super rare S++ clear rating, earning him a platinum badge. Juhyuk is losing his mind. This is way too easy. He's already seeing dollar signs. But what our boy Bong Juhyuk did not know yet is that at that very moment, that S++ clear notification was broadcast to every single player in South Korea. That is right. The alert went public, putting the entire player base on notice. Poof! He and Cossack are teleported right back to his apartment. His stomach is still churning as he checks his phone. The whole mission took only 5 minutes. Cossack congratulates him on a job well done. Our humble MC says he did nothing, but Cossack insists just staying out of the way is better than most masters. He lays out their loot on the table, a glowing magic crystal and a strange silver badge. Juhyuk is absolutely mesmerized by the crystal. It is the first time he has ever seen one in person. Magic crystals are basically the new currency, and this reward is worth about 50,000 won. Not bad at all. After the Black Towers appeared 20 years ago, info about the tower became common knowledge for everyone. But this platinum badge is a total mystery. He has never even heard of one before. He shrugs it off, too hyped about making 50,000 won in 3 minutes. Meanwhile, for Cossack, it is time to watch some TV. The food arrives, a feast of pork feet and noodles. But Cossack sniffs for any sign of spice. Juhyuk reassures him he ordered the regular version, since he knows Cossack has the spice tolerance of a baby. But our hero says it's still spicy for him. Cossack's just too grateful for the food and Juhyuk's kindness. Bro's never been treated this nice. As they eat, Juhyuk asks about Cossack's super formal, military-style way of speaking. Cossack explains it is just a habit from his last summoner. Ju-hyuk just smirks, joking that it sounds like he is talking about an ex's influence. Cossack offers to change it if it is annoying. He tells Cossack not to worry about it, finding the whole thing pretty funny. They both share a good laugh. After such an easy first run, Ju-hyuk is now totally convinced. Because of his companion, being a player is not dangerous at all. He puts away his hard hat, a symbol of his old life. He is ready for this new chapter. This is totally doable. The next morning, Ju-hyuk has a new life plan taped to his wall, titled, "A Real Man's Daily Routine. No more awful part-time jobs. From now on, it is all about clearing the tower with John Cossack. It is a perfect plan." Cossack is ecstatic about his 5-star satisfaction rating, with Ju-hyuk declaring he would give Cossack 10 stars if he could. Ju-hyuk wonders if the rating is really that big of a deal. Oh, it is. Cossack explains that high ratings lead to grade increases and more summons. It is everything to him. And just as he finishes explaining, a notification dings. They are warped right back into the tower for floor 2. The next mission pops up immediately. Defeat 10 crafty fatty maggots. But before they can even process it, the ground erupts. New, purple-striped maggots are burrowing towards them at insane speeds. Ju-hyuk starts to panic. These second-floor mobs are way faster and trickier than he thought. He starts trying to come up with a strategy, but Cossack immediately tells him there is no time for that nonsense. Cossack just grins, holding up 3 fingers and promising a 3-minute clear. He vows to finish this fast so they can go home, then launches himself forward in a blur of blue energy. Ju-hyuk just cups his hands and shouts from the sidelines, "Should we have chicken today, with beer too? Thank you." That is all the motivation Cossack needs. His power surges, crackling with an insane amount of blue lightning. In a literal instant, he tears through all 10 of the maggots, obliterating them in a flash of blinding light. Absolute chaos, 0 survivors. Ju-hyuk can only stare as the rewards pop up. 4-2 cleared, a level up, and 2,000 magic crystals. And of course, he got another S++ clear rating, earning him a 2nd platinum badge. Staring at the rewards, he cannot believe how easy this is. He could do this before his part-time job even starts. Suddenly, they are on the 3rd floor with a new mission. Defeat 10 ice-cold fatty maggots. Before the mission can even sink in, a flash of light signals another instant clear. And just like that, another level up, 300 grams of magic crystals, and an S++ clear with a platinum badge. It becomes a total blur as they blaze through the tower. Floor 4 is cleared in a flash, with Cossack striking a pose. Moments later, Floor 5 is done too. Ju-hyuk gives his overpowered mercenary a well-deserved high five. Then, a brand new alert chimes in. He has collected 5 S++ grade platinum badges. This massive achievement has granted him a special privilege. Way to go. His reward is insane. The number of simultaneous summons he can have has increased to 2. And that is not all. He has also gained a 2nd new special privilege, Awakening Trait Enhancement. A new status window materializes. Ju-hyuk is now level 6. Sadly, his combat skills are still non-existent. The realization hits him like a truck. John Cossack is already a one-man army. Now he can bring in another mercenary for backup? He can't believe his luck. This is the power of S++ clear rewards. This single perk changes the entire game for him. He knows the battles ahead will only get tougher. Having a 2nd summon isn't just about damage, it's about survival. He quickly checks his random summon cooldown. Ugh. Still over 20 days to go. Patience is a virtue, I guess. He steals his resolve. The plan is simple. For the next 20 days, he and Cossack will keep grinding and stacking those S++ ratings. Tomorrow, Floor 6 awaits. Meanwhile, across the city at the Korea Awaken Management Agency, the vibe is a whole lot less cheerful. Inside a high-end office, 3 important-looking people are sitting in a silence so thick you could cut it with a knife. One of the men is uneasy, just waiting for the next global alert to ring. Will it be today? Tonight? The suspense is killing him, or maybe the caffeine is. The woman standing nearby calls him out. "You're thinking about the notice, aren't you?" He nearly jumps out of his skin. "Manager Lee, stop sneaking up on me." She just shrugs, saying she can't help being curious. Team leader Jeon gets right to business. "Did another one appear?" Manager Lee confirms it. Another S++ grade clear. This time, on Floor 6. Apparently, the Black Tower has been blowing up with global notices lately. Something big is happening. Then the pieces click into place. He realizes all the S++ clears are from the same person, systematically conquering the tower 1 floor at a time. This player has talent on a level they've never seen before. He worries about what will happen if they keep this up. This could change everything. Frustrated that they can't find this mystery player, Gwang-il slams his hand down on the coffee table like it owes him answers. Director Park finally speaks. He reminds them that until now, Korea's highest record was a measly A grade. He warns them that in this day and age, player poaching is rampant. They cannot let another country snatch up this god-tier talent. The director's order is absolute. Find this player immediately. Their mission is clear. Watch every single newly registered player like a hawk. 2 days later, the mood back at Ju-hyuk's place couldn't be more different. Unaware of the manhunt for him, Joo-hyuk's world-class mercenary is cheerfully washing dishes. Joo-hyuk asks if they're hitting floor 8 today, to which Cossack says yes. They're clearing 1 floor a day, easy peasy. Joo-hyuk paces around, thinking it's all going too smoothly. But hey, the first 10 floors are basically the tutorial, right? The duo enters the tower, arriving in a misty, gross-looking swamp forest. Smells like bad decisions. The mission pops up, defeat 10 red thorn frog warriors. And right on cue, a whole swarm of monstrous frogmen leaps out to attack. One of the frog warriors shoots its tongue forward like it's in a bad CGI movie. But in real life, so worse. But Cossack is already a blur of motion, his blade flashing with a brilliant blue light. And just like that, it's over. A notification confirms their victory, a level up, and a nice haul of magic crystals and potions. Cossack lands in a perfect hero pose, surrounded by the bisected bodies of the frog monsters. Flawless victory. You know the drill. Another notice pops up, confirming another perfect S++ clear for floor 8. Back home, Cossack congratulates his master. Joo-hyuk sheepishly admits he didn't do a thing, but Cossack insists that just showing up is the hardest part. And with every S++ clear comes their favorite reward, a shiny platinum badge. Joo-hyuk is grinning from ear to ear. Clearing floors is so easy with Cossack around. He decides his boy deserves a gift for another 3-minute clear. He offers Cossack some cash, telling him to go out and treat himself to something nice. But Cossack flat out refuses. He says he can't leave his summoner's side. Guess absolute obedience doesn't apply to taking a day off. Joo-hyuk pivots. Alright then, should I order some chicken? Cossack's eyes light up. Yes, chicken is always the answer. This man will fight for drumsticks. While in his chicken getup, Cossack orders some non-spicy fried chicken. Joo-hyuk decides to check out his other rewards. He's got a fresh batch of healing potions. These will definitely come in handy for Cossack later. Then there are the magic crystals. He's already stacked up 3.6 kilograms, worth about 1.8 million won. It's about time he figured out how to sell this stuff. It's already been 10 days, and floor 10 is just around the corner. He stretches, realizing he can finally quit his dead-end part-time jobs. Thanks to Cossack, clearing floors has been a total cakewalk. Victory is guaranteed, and the S++ rewards are just the icing on the cake. Joo-hyuk feels totally secure, completely forgetting his summon is a literal assassin who murdered 3 people. Minor details. Ding. A new system message. Because Cossack's satisfaction rating has been maxed out, his manifestation time increases by 1 whole hour. Cossack is overjoyed. He makes a giant heart with his hands and promises to keep working hard. Just trust in me, he cheers. Peak loyalty unlocked. With that, it's time for the next challenge. The system announces their entry into floor 10. But this time, things are different. From this floor on, his physical stats are enhanced to match his level, and his skills are finally usable inside the tower. They materialize inside a forest, surrounded by a strange energy barrier. Joo-hyuk can already feel the power surging through him. Strength and magic are overflowing from his very core. He feels incredible. He feels like an untamable wild stallion, ready to run wild. Feeling his newfound power, he confidently tells Cossack, "From now on, I'll help too." Cossack immediately shuts that down. If Joo-hyuk gets so much as a paper cut, he'll never forgive himself. Praise is more than enough. But Joo-hyuk isn't backing down. This time, he's determined to fight side by side with his summon. Joo-hyuk looks up and sees a giant, pulsing green sphere hanging in the trees. What in the world is that thing? The sphere reveals a monstrous, colossal praying mantis. So this is the boss of the 10th floor. Joo-hyuk is absolutely terrified. How is any normal player supposed to kill a beast that huge? He's about to test his plot armor. Trying to play it cool, he suggests it's beneath them to gang up on a mere insect. Apparently, pride is on the line. The giant mantis glares down at them with its massive compound eyes, ready to throw down. My guy is about to yeet everyone here. Joo-hyuk immediately changes his tune, breaking out a pair of pom-poms. You got this, Mr. Cossack. Cossack faces the gargantuan beast head-on, completely unfazed by its overwhelming size. He leaps into action, weaving through the monster's powerful strikes with impossible grace. His eyes begin to glow with a brilliant blue light as he focuses all his power for the final attack. He unleashes a blinding flurry of slashes, creating a net of pure energy that dices the giant mantis into 1,000,000 pieces. Mission succeeded. There's a new level up and another kilogram of magic crystals for the bank. And of course, the system confirms what we already knew, another perfect S++ clear rating for floor 10. The reward is, once again, a gleaming platinum badge. He's really starting to stack these things up. Cossack strikes a final, dramatic pose amidst a whirlwind of energy blades. Job done. He's now cleared to challenge floor 11, and the system begins ejecting him from the tower. Back in his room, he checks his loot. The new magic crystals bring his total haul to a whopping 5.5 kilograms. He's also got a ton of platinum badges now. He remembers getting a special privilege at 5, so what happens when you get 10? Right on cue, a notification pops up. He's earned another special privilege for collecting 10 platinum badges. Joo-hyuk grins, buzzing with excitement. What kind of ability is the system going to give him this time? The answer is absolutely insane. He can copy one skill from his summoned being, A huge list of Cossack's abilities appears, from blade explosion to polymorph. Before he can even think, Cossack points a finger in the air. Definitely Shadow Step. Don't ask questions, just learn it. When Ju-hyuk asks why, Cossack explains it's the perfect escape skill. It allows Ju-hyuk to get away safely if things ever go wrong. It's perfect for when you see a monster and go, nah, I'm good. Ju-hyuk clenches his fist, pretending to be offended. Running away? Do I look like the kind of guy who would abandon his comrades? Despite his dramatic speech, he immediately acquires the skill. A notification confirms Shadow Step has been added to his arsenal. Cossack is thrilled, passionately explaining that good footwork is the key to any fight. But our boy has only one thought on his mind. I wonder if this skill works in the real world too. Back in his tiny apartment, he decides to test it out. He strikes a pose and yells, Shadow Step, and absolutely nothing happens. The skill is a total dud in reality. He collapses, and Cossack just gives him A+ for effort. It's now day 11 of his journey. Our MC makes the most nerve-wracking phone call of his life. He's calling the Awakens management agency. He stammers through his introduction, explaining that he's a newly awakened player ready to register. The operator on the other end is ecstatic, congratulating him and asking if they can send staff to his home. He agrees, and they promise to come right away. After hanging up, he flops onto his bed, totally drained. He knows making that call was the bravest thing he's done in his 25 years of life. Meanwhile, two black government cars are parked outside a modern building, and a woman in a business suit walks towards them with purpose. Inside the car, Manager Lee tells team leader Jian that their last lead was a bust. Jian sighs, frustrated that the mystery S+ player is still a ghost. Minna mentions that a new awakening application just came in. He agrees to go with her, saying they have to check every single lead. The team leader's expression is grim. If this applicant turns out to be the one they're looking for, he's ready to offer them the best contract the agency has ever seen. Back at his place, Ju-hyuk is in a full-blown cleaning panic, scrubbing every inch of his tiny apartment before his important guests arrive. Somebody give this man a medal, or a mop. Just then, the doorbell rings. A voice announces they're from the management agency. Ju-hyuk freezes. It's time. He nervously opens the door and welcomes the two agents inside. Team leader Jeon Gwang-il introduces himself first. Team leader Jeon then introduces his colleague, Manager Lee Min-ah. Ju-hyuk is immediately flustered by her cool and professional demeanor. Without saying a word, Min-ah steps forward, getting right up in his personal space. He blushes, stunned by her sudden closeness. She looks him with an unreadable expression. Then, she says something that changes everything. It's you, isn't it? S++. Right off the bat, Manager Lee corners him, her eyes locked on his. Ju-hyuk is absolutely bugging out. How in the world did she find out his secret? He's been so careful. He comes up with a brilliant plan on the spot. Just deny everything. Act completely normal. What could go wrong? Nothing suspicious about this at all. So he puts on the worst poker face in history, stiffly claiming it's not him. But she sees right through it, calling out his obvious lies. Suddenly, her colleague gives her a swift bonk on the head. Manager Lee, I told you to stop probing people. She kinda deserved that one. The man apologizes for his partner's intense methods. Ju-hyuk breathes a huge sigh of relief, thinking maybe she was just guessing after all. The scene then cuts to a super cheesy orientation video, hosted by Tabi, the cute mascot of Korea's Black Tower. The video explains that 20 years ago, these giant structures called Black Towers just appeared all over the world. Massive, ominous, and absolutely not on Google Maps at the time. Every military tried to investigate, but an invisible barrier instantly vaporized anything that got too close. So what are these things? Well, when players showed up, they figured it out. The tower is basically a giant video game you have to climb floor by floor. Inside, players get awesome powers and find amazing loot. They can even bring it out to boost the real-world economy. But here's the catch. What happens if nobody climbs the tower? If a country stops making progress for 6 months, a terrifying countdown starts ticking down. A countdown to total disaster. When it hits 0, the tower collapses, wiping the entire area off the map. That's how Mumbai was completely destroyed 3 years ago. Now for South Korea's situation. They got lucky with only one tower, tucked away in the mountains of Gangwon province. But players are extremely rare, making up less than 1% of the population. Even so, Korea is crushing it. They've cleared floor 65, making them second in the world right behind America. The video wraps up with a big heroic speech, calling players the pioneers and heroes of the modern age. Tabi tells the new recruit they are the hope for the future and invites them to register because anyone can be a hero. Optimism is now a legally binding contract. Back in the apartment, Ju-hyuk mentally shuts off the cringe propaganda. The agents start talking. Alright, now we just have a few questions for you. He asks if Ju-hyuk is really awakened. Ju-hyuk confirms it, dumping a pile of magic crystals on the table and saying he's cleared up to floor 10. The agents are floored. Floor 10 is the exact same record as the mysterious S++ ranker. Manager Lee's eyes narrow. Could it be him? She immediately starts probing again, asking if he's heard about the recent string of global notices. Ju-hyuk goes back to his terrible robot act, pretending he's only heard rumors about some amazing new player. Oscar chances? 0. But with his face twitching like crazy, he just looks even more suspicious than before. His acting is a total dumpster fire. Ignoring the awkwardness, the agent explains the contract options. Players are split into two groups, the elite team and the general team. General team players are basically freelancers, but the elite team works directly for the government's management agency. Elite members get amazing support and benefits, like personal protection. After all, outside the tower, they're just normal humans. As the agent mentions the massive salary, Joo-hyuk's mind starts racing. If his S++ record gets out, he'd be mobbed by the press. He imagines a nightmare scenario of reporters screaming in his face. He wants zero part of that life. Anonymity? It's actually priceless. The agent starts talking about body cams for recording runs, but Joo-hyuk cuts him off right there. "I won't be applying for the elite team," our boy said. The agent is completely stunned. He can't believe what he's hearing. He tries to argue, but Joo-hyuk doubles down, claiming he has no talent and is happy with the general team. With a super awkward smile, he says it's all too scary. He'd rather just farm easy rewards on low floors. The agent begs him to reconsider, but Joo-hyuk has made his decision. He's not budging. Manager Lee just sighs internally. Another dead end. This guy isn't their S++ ranker. She thinks that a coward who admits he wants to quit climbing doesn't have what it takes to be on the elite team anyway. Finally, the agent gives in. "Your decision will be respected." To Joo-hyuk, it's like he finally dodged a bullet. For the final step, they ask him to enter the tower right here and now from his own apartment. Joo-hyuk agrees. He needs to use his daily entry anyway, but he knows this is one last test. He tells them the clear will take him almost 2 hours. They don't mind at all. It's their job to wait. Manager Lee puts on a sweet smile. "We'll be waiting right here." Joo-hyuk steels himself for what's next, and even offers them some drinks from his fridge. If this goes badly, at least everyone's hydrated. "Okay then, I'll be back." In a flash of blue light, he vanishes, entering the tower right in front of them. The agent confirms he's a real Awakened, then turns to his partner. "So, what do you think?" She says he's way too timid. She bets he's going to give up on floor 11. Why? Because floor 11 is a psychological horror show. It's filled with repulsive long-tailed burrow centipedes. Disgusting. Absolutely unnecessary. The bugs themselves aren't that strong, but you have to kill 100 of them. She's sure a scaredy cat like him can't handle it. She predicts he'll retreat and abandon the mission. Her partner notes that her intuition has been on point so far. Convinced it's another waste of time, he gets ready to call the director and report their failure. Meanwhile, inside the tower, Joo-hyuk has already summoned his ace. A system message pops up. John Cossack has been summoned. Cossack snaps to attention with a perfect salute. "Thank you for calling me, sir." The mission is exactly what Manager Lee predicted. He has to defeat 100 long-tailed centipedes in under 3 hours. Joo-hyuk looks like he's about to throw up, but Cossack just laughs, boasting that 100 bugs is a 5-minute job for him. The gap in confidence is concerning. But Joo-hyuk stops him. "No, this time, I need you to hunt as slowly as possible. Take at least an hour. No S++ clears." Cossack gives a big thumbs up, catching on that there are watchers outside. "Aha, I understand your brilliant intentions." Joo-hyuk grins. This is perfect. He'll throw them off his trail with the slowest, most pathetic clear record they've ever seen. Cossack gets to work, effortlessly slicing up the giant creepy crawlies like it's nothing. He's speedrunning pest control on easy mode. But Joo-hyuk immediately yells at him. He's still going way too fast. Mr. Cossack, even slower. With the hunting pace finally slowed down to a crawl, Joo-hyuk thinks his plan is foolproof. Famous last words. He takes a bad step and lands right on top of a massive centipede. What? Oh no. He's instantly swarmed by the bugs and freezes up completely, paralyzed by sheer terror. Seeing his master in danger, Cossack throws the entire plan out the window. "Summoner Bong, I'm coming." John Cossack is absolutely furious. How dare these disgusting centipede pests touch my master? He goes absolutely berserk. Cossack unleashes a whirlwind of slashes, turning the entire swarm of bugs into confetti. Joo-hyuk, caught in the middle of the carnage, finally snaps out of it. "Ah, wait, no." He frantically yells at his summon to stop. "Slow down, you're going way too fast." But John Cossack isn't listening. He flat out refuses the order. "I refuse. Your life comes first, Summoner Bong." Before Joo-hyuk can even react, his body starts glowing. The tower is pulling him out. He's being forcibly ejected. The system has decided the mission is over. A wave of absolute dread hits him. If he tried that hard again, that means he pleads with the universe, "No, please don't," but it's already too late. A system alert chimes, confirming his worst nightmare. He's achieved an S++ clear rating for floor 11 and earned a platinum badge. As floor 12 is unlocked, a ghostly image of John Cossack bows. "I'm so sorry, master." Meanwhile, back in the apartment, only 5 minutes have passed. Manager Lee smirks. He should be giving up and coming out right about now. Suddenly, a massive system notification appears right in front of their faces. An S++ clear rating for floor 11, the exact floor our MC just entered. And at that exact moment, Joo-hyuk reappears in a flash of blue light. The timing is undeniable. The agents are completely speechless. They just stare, trying to process what just happened. Manager Lee finally puts it all together. The S++ rating. It appeared at the exact same time as player Bong. His cover is completely blown. Joo Hyuk's expression darkens. Sigh. I really didn't want to have to do this. His eyes flare crimson as the summon appears behind him. You two, he declares, are going to be silenced. Joo Hyuk's cover is completely blown. He declares, you two are going to be silenced. He summons his right-hand man, Mr. Cossack. The order is simple. Bind those two, right now. And immediately Joo Hyuk is screaming in pure terror. Bro is having a total meltdown. Who said anything about cutting their throats? He's having a vision of the agents' heads, gift wrapped with red ribbons. Snaps back to reality. My guy is apologizing for something that hasn't even happened. The agents are perfectly fine, just super confused. Player Bong, you good? He realizes it was all in his head and tries to play it cool. Yeah, I'm totally fine. The agent isn't buying it for a second. Joo Hyuk keeps denying he's the S++ player, but his acting skills are a solid 0. The agent just sighs and pulls out an envelope. Well, since your awakening is confirmed, let's prepare the contract. Joo Hyuk's face absolutely drops. This is an elite contract, not the basic one he asked for. The agent grins. Oh no, this is way better. Call it the one and only, ultra-elite contract. And the benefits are actually insane. A 12 billion won salary, free real estate, and VIP security. The final perk, full legal immunity. My guy would literally be above the law. These are the same perks as the rank 1 player in Korea. And despite this god-tier offer, Joo Hyuk's answer is a hard no. He actually yells, if it's not a general contract, then I won't be a player at all. Agents are completely baffled. His reason for turning down literal god mode? I don't like being in the spotlight. Turns out, he's a huge introvert. Trying on clothes gives him anxiety. Eating at a restaurant is a nightmare. He says he isn't confident and wants to stay low-key. Seeing how serious he is, the agent finally caves. Joo Hyuk is so relieved. He knows elite contracts are a huge responsibility, and he just wants to live comfortably. Meanwhile, back at the agency, the director is not happy. He's absolutely furious with their report. Agent Jun explains that yeah, the kid's timid, but he is definitely the S++ achiever, a weirdly average guy for such an OP player. The director doesn't care if he's shy. He slams his desk and yells, get him on the elite team no matter what. Team leader Jun looks determined. This hunt is far from over. At the same time, Joo Hyuk is yelling at Cossack. He's blaming him for blowing his cover by not following orders. They hit floor 12, a total ice level. To fool the agency, his order is very specific. Go really gentle, and absolutely slowly. He's hoping a few normal clears will get them off his back. But then the freezing cold hits him like a truck. Cossack sees him shivering and immediately panics. Master, are you okay? I'll clear this fast and get you somewhere warm. He completely ignores Joo Hyuk's orders. Cossack goes on a rampage, thinking a simple cold is a life-or-death situation. And just like that, another S++ clear pops up. His entire plan is completely ruined. On the phone, team leader Jun is stunned. All Joo Hyuk can say is, yeah, he cleared it, and that floor 13 might be tough. Back at his apartment, Joo Hyuk is so done. He dismisses Cossack on the spot. He's literally crying. The punishment for Cossack? No TV time. This just keeps happening. Floor 13 has traps, so Cossack just carries him. S++ clear. Floor 14 has bats, Cossack deletes them. Another S++ clear. Joo Hyuk finally gives up. Fine, whatever, at least the money is rolling in. He's made over 7 million won in just 2 weeks. He's dreaming of a 30 million won salary. Time to quit those part-time jobs. Next day, he stops trying to nerf Cossack. The agency already knows, so why not aim for another special privilege? Clearing floor 15 gets him 15 platinum badges total. A new kind of greed takes over. Let's go, Mr. Cossack. They enter floor 15, a dense forest. The mission is to defeat 20 goblin workers. Cossack warns these are his first humanoid monsters. They're smart enough to call for help, so he tells Joo Hyuk to be stealthy. Cossack just gives him a confident look. I'll take them all out at once. Then he activates his stealth skill and becomes a blur. He moves so fast the goblins are dead before they even know what hit them. An absolute speed run. In an instant, it's over. Another S++ clear, another platinum badge, and a level up. They get teleported out of the tower and right back into his apartment. He immediately opens his inventory. 15 shiny platinum badges are just floating there. Bro's inventory is carrying the economy at this point. Right on cue, a system notification pops up. A special privilege for collecting 15 platinum badges. He got a trait enhancement at 5 badges and a skill copy at 10. He can't help but wonder what insane loot he's about to get this time. And the reward for his 15 badge grind is an energy shield kit. Basically a get-out-of-jail-free bracelet. This little trinket creates a barrier that can absorb a stupid amount of damage. He activates it and bam! Bro is now wearing a full suit of energy armor, looking like a budget Iron Man. Here's the real kicker. It doesn't have the tower-only restriction. He can flex this thing in the real world. His mind immediately jumps to its resale value. Billions? Could he just sell it and retire for good? Nah, the rewards will only get more insane. He asks Cossack if they can run it back on floor 16 right now, but Cossack is like, hold up, chief. Clearing it is one thing, but he can't guarantee another S++ rank. Just like that, the coward is back. His brain immediately goes back to selling the bracelet for a mountain of cash. Meanwhile, over at the Awakens Management Agency, the director is getting seriously impatient. His agent reports it's been 2 weeks. They think player Bong is stuck on floor 15. Director slams his fist on the desk, absolutely furious that a top-tier talent is being wasted by a coward. Jun Guangil tries to calm him down, pointing out that the difficulty spikes hard on floor 16. Suddenly, there's an update. Ju Hyuk is heading to the agency to use their player shop. Director's eyes go wide. He wasn't stuck, he was farming floor 15 for money to buy better gear. Feeling like a total clown for doubting him, the director orders his team to give Ju Hyuk whatever he wants at rock-bottom prices. Speaking of farming, let's rewind 15 days. Cossack is having a complete meltdown. What did you say? Ju Hyuk calmly lifts his shirt and asks Cossack to go ahead and stab him with a dagger. He just wants to test the shield. I'm not asking you to kill me, just poke me lightly. So reassuring. But Cossack is having none of it. He just shakes his head, refusing to even listen to this madness. Fine, I'll do it myself. Ju Hyuk grabs Cossack's hand and forces the dagger right into his own gut. Bro couldn't wait another 5 seconds. Pain! He forgot to turn the shield on. As Ju Hyuk bleeds, Cossack flips out, ready to punish his own arm for hurting his master. Cossack grabs him, screaming, "Don't ever do that again." Ju Hyuk, now healed, is just like, "K, now finish hunting." Enraged assassin then tears through the forest, finishing the hunt in less than 10 minutes. While he waits, Ju Hyuk decides to practice the new skill he copied, Shadow Step. His body dissolves into pure blue energy, letting him just float through the air like a ghost. He gets it immediately. This isn't for fighting. This is the ultimate skill for running away. But as he lands, he freezes. Turns out, he's not alone out here. A single goblin with glowing red eyes is staring him down from the shadows. A goblin? It must have been hiding from Cossack, and our boy is completely paralyzed with fear. Beast charges with a screech. Ju Hyuk instinctively shouts, "Shield!" His barrier snaps into place at the very last moment, sparing him even as the goblin's mouth clamps around his hand. The goblin gets blasted back. Cossack zips into the scene. He hunts the goblin high into the air, shouting, "Nice pass," like it's a soccer match. He then warps directly in front of Ju Hyuk, frantically checking to make sure his master is okay. He grabs Ju Hyuk, yelling, "Fight the goblin? Are you out of your mind? You can't be too brave, Summoner Bong." Ju Hyuk just covers his ears and agrees to make the yelling stop. Back in the present, Ju Hyuk takes stock of his 2-week farm. He's made over 11 million won just from magic crystals. He calls the agency to visit the shop. The agent offers to send a car, but Ju Hyuk politely turns it down. But it's a standard benefit for contractors, so he just agrees to be picked up. A massive stretch limo arrives at the shop, and Ju Hyuk steps out looking completely out of his element. Team leader Jun Guangil is there to greet him personally, which only makes our boy more anxious. He registers his biometrics and, true to form, turns down the offer of a guided tour. Bro just wants to shop in peace. He enters the player's shop, a massive, luxurious hall that's completely empty. He just assumes it's too expensive for most players and heads to the counter to sell his crystals. The clerk confirms the value and tells him the funds are ready to use in a while. Perfect. Let's get this over with. Upstairs, the director learns they've closed the entire shop just to give Ju Hyuk a private shopping experience. They've even ordered the staff to give him a 90% discount, knowing his timid personality would refuse a free gift. Back at his rooftop home, Ju Hyuk inspects his new gear, an adamant mace and some basilisk leather boots. The prices seemed way too low. He knows he's getting special treatment, and the feeling is a little burdensome. Still, thanks to his energy shield, all he really needed were the boots. These special privileges are already paying off. He promised himself he wouldn't be greedy, but let's be real, these rewards are just too good to ignore. The next day, he summons Cossack. When asked if they're farming again, Ju Hyuk grins. "No, we're climbing to floor 16. A spark of excitement ignites in both of them. It's time to make some real progress. But first, it's time to use his other privilege. He starts chanting, praying to every god he knows for one more mercenary. A massive purple light erupts in his living room. It's a random summon, and things are about to get weird. Towering, gleaming giant invades his apartment, leaving Ju Hyuk frozen in disbelief as panic sets in. He stares in absolute horror, screaming internally, "What in the world did I just summon?" But his first thought isn't about some world-ending monster. It's about his security deposit. The barbarian's absurdly huge, muscular limbs make Ju Hyuk freeze like a deer caught in headlights. He can only think, is that a human or a monster? Suddenly, Cossack pops in yelling, "Sit down, you moron," and delivers a flying kick. The kick connects with explosive force. Cossack immediately starts throwing hands, but the barbarian barely even flinches. He just says, "That tickles." Cossack's eye glows as he pulls his daggers. "Let's see you say that after I chop your head off." Cossack dives in for the kill. Ju Hyuk screams for him to stop. Cossack instantly halts. Ju Hyuk begs him to be careful. One broken ceiling is enough. Cossack tells him not to worry. The new guy is famous for being stupid. He doesn't even know the 3 principles. Barbarian tries to recite the rules but struggles to remember them. He gets completely stuck on Article 3, drawing a total blank. Cossack is annoyed. He says they pulled a dud and should just kill him to trigger the 100-day cooldown. Juhyuk checks the stats. He summoned a rare-grade, dim-witted barbarian meat shield. Bro is so disappointed he considers waiting a month for a reroll. Juhyuk tries to interview him, but gets nothing. The big guy doesn't remember his name, the tower, or anything. Frustrated, he pulls up the details, and just like with Cossack, he's sucked into the barbarian's memories. He lands in a beautiful meadow. There he sees the barbarian as he once was, a pure soul just vibing with butterflies, but his peace is shattered by giant wolves. Even with his top-tier stats, he's too simple-minded to see the danger. He just asks the wolves if they want to play. Then, a smug-looking blonde dude in armor shows up. He introduces himself as Arius, but our barbarian can't even remember his own name. Turns out, this fake hero tricked the barbarian. He sets him up as a meat shield against a terrifying Hydra. He fought with everything he had, ripping off heads. He didn't even notice his own skin melting from the acid. He died protecting them. His comrades just mocked him and celebrated their easy win. Juhyuk watches in horror as his skeleton dissolves into green acid. Juhyuk's heart just breaks for him. So what if he's a little slow? Back in his apartment, Juhyuk has a newfound respect. He tells the barbarian, "Let's climb the tower together." He decides to give him a name, offering either Yamen or Gobang. After a moment, the barbarian quietly chooses Gobang. Juhyuk asks if he can be trusted. Gobang replies, "I trust Summoner. I do what told." Juhyuk is thrilled. The 3 of them are a team now. Cossack looks absolutely mortified, but Cossack reconsiders. A meat shield could be useful. He vows to whip Gobang into shape. Juhyuk declares it's time for floor 16. Cossack agrees but yells at Gobang for copying him. Juhyuk just sighs. A timid player, a psycho assassin, and a dim-witted tank. This party is a total disaster, but he's determined to make it work. As they enter, their abilities are activated. On floor 16, the mission is to kill 30 goblin scouts. Cossack immediately gets tactical, telling Juhyuk to stay ready. Cossack warns him about goblin poison needles. Meanwhile, they're already being watched. Just then, a goblin aims right at Juhyuk's back, but before it hits, Cossack whips around and deflects it with his dagger. Juhyuk is stunned. Dozens of goblins swarm out from the darkness. As Juhyuk dodges, Cossack leaps into action. He expertly deflects a hail of poison needles. He realizes with dread there are way more than 50 of them. In a panic, he shouts for Gobang to go forward and block them. Gobang's eyes flare with golden light as he powers up. He doesn't just run. He launches into the air like a cannonball, completely bypasses the first wave and lands deep in the enemy's back lines. Cossack is so confused. Gobang smashes into the ground with a massive shockwave. It sends goblins, and a very unlucky Cossack, flying. Cossack gets absolutely launched through the air. Hiding behind a rock, Juhyuk is amazed. They can't even compete with his raw power. Another group fires poison darts at Gobang's back. They all bounce off harmlessly. He just says, "Tickles." Cossack recovers and shouts the order to attack. The 2 mercenaries begin to tear through the horde. Juhyuk can't believe it. This guy's power is easily SSR level, not rare. After the battle, Juhyuk treats them to a fried chicken feast. Battle trauma? Temporarily cured by crispy skin. Gobang stuffs his face, yelling, "This is kitchen. Delicious." Juhyuk praises his performance. Cossack struggles with the spicy chicken, breathing actual fire. Looks like this team won't be getting along anytime soon. Gobang then tells him, "Summoner, good person." Juhyuk is caught completely off guard. Juhyuk says the kitchen is nothing compared to Gobang's work. The Cossack suddenly snaps. He screams, "It's chicken, not kitchen, you big oaf." His outburst scares everyone. He then scolds Cossack for bullying Gobang, even though he was the one yelling. The next day, the team enters floor 17. Now at level 17, Juhyuk feels his power surging. He gets swept up in the moment, convinced his inner warrior is awakening, all while sporting a ridiculous horse head. But his mercenaries immediately tell him to stand back. His only job is to survive. The mission is to defeat 30 goblin warriors, but a massive army, at least 90 strong, stands before them. Juhyuk sees these goblins are tactically skilled. This makes them a serious threat. He recalls the standard strategy for this floor. It's a slow process of luring and killing small groups. He has a better idea. He calls for Gobang. With their new tank, they don't need to be careful. Gobang powers up. With newfound confidence, Juhyuk gives the order. Sweep them all away. He's already thinking about his next reward. Gobang is more than happy to oblige. He lets out a massive roar and barrels straight into the enemy lines, no questions asked. The goblins scramble to form a phalanx, looking all tactical with their little spears and shields. Gobang isn't a warrior. He's a freight train. He plows right through them, sending goblins flying with a single shockwave. He's not even fighting anymore. He's just walking forward, and everything in his path turns to dust. Juhyuk just watches, completely stunned. He realizes tactics are useless when the power gap is this huge. It's like bringing a main battle tank to a pillow fight. Absolutely no contest. And just like that, Another S++ clear for floor 17 pops up. All Joo-hyuk can say is, amazing. Meanwhile, Cossack is having a full-blown existential crisis over being benched for the new guy. The team is instantly warped to floor 18, where the new mission is to defeat 30 goblin assassins. With a simple point and a single word, go, Joo-hyuk unleashes his one-man army once again. But this floor is different. These aren't your basic grunts. They're assassins who use stealth skills. For a brief moment, Gobang seems to have captured 2 of them, but just like that, they disappear without leaving a trace. Joo-hyuk immediately thinks, uh-oh. Gobang just stomps around, yelling at the assassins to stop hiding. Suddenly, a maniacal laugh echoes through the forest. It's Cossack, who declares he's tired of watching the brainless tank. He boasts about showing them a classy clear, activates Shadow Step, and becomes a literal blur of death. Joo-hyuk watches with a sly grin. He thinks to himself, he took the bait. This was his plan all along. He successfully triggered Cossack's competitive spirit by letting Gobang hog the spotlight. Now he can just kick back, relax, and rake in those sweet, sweet special privileges. Besides, Joo-hyuk is around level 18 now, and he's got a hidden trick of his own. He activates Wild Stallion Liberation, and his head turns into that of a horse. Don't ask questions, folks. Just roll with it. He did his homework. With the horse head active, he can spot the assassin's low-level stealth. After grinding Shadow Step on floor 15, he's ready to show off. He zips forward to close the distance. Or maybe not. He immediately trips over his own feet, screaming mid-swing. Somehow, his flailing mace connects, completely smashing the goblin and killing it instantly. It went as planned, he cheers, but his victory is cut short by an assassin dropping from the sky. Meanwhile, Cossack is still a tornado of blades, racking up kills. The counter climbs to 27. Not to be outdone, Gobang starts punching assassins straight out of the air like they're flies. Get lost, you're in the way, Cossack shouts, before suddenly realizing something's wrong. Wait, where's Summoner Bong? A goblin's blade is inches from Joo-hyuk when his energy shield flares to life, blocking the attack, but still cornered. As 2 assassins lunge for the kill, adrenaline floods his system. To him, their attacks are moving in slow motion. He effortlessly dodges and counters, finishing both and earning another S++ clear. Cossack finally rushes over, and Joo-hyuk just grins, proudly pointing out, I think I got the last hit. Cossack's response? To fall to his knees and grab his head in absolute, soul-crushing despair. Back at the agency, the global notice arrives. Floor 18, another perfect clear. The director is loving this guy's confidence. The other agents are buzzing about 18 consecutive S++ clears, stressing that his identity has to remain top secret. Team leader Jun states Joo-hyuk now needs ultra-special care, even more than their most elite team. The news explodes with the story, calling it a new era for Korea's tower climbing and an unprecedented record. The mysterious player is estimated to be around level 19, and now the entire country is desperate to know who they are. Back in the apartment, Cossack is letting out the most dramatic sigh in human history. Joo-hyuk tells him to just spit it out already. It's too fast, Cossack says. The speed at which you're realizing your talent. Joo-hyuk is completely lost. Joo-hyuk laughs it off, but Cossack is dead serious. He says the shadow walk he used had perfect movements, stuff even he would struggle with. And that, Cossack warns, is what makes it so dangerous. As Joo-hyuk gets more confident, the risk gets higher. He reminds Joo-hyuk of their #1 rule, safety first, self-preservation. Joo-hyuk quickly agrees, promising not to do anything reckless. Cossack accepts, but he does not look convinced. As Cossack stares at his master's nervous smile, he can't shake a terrible premonition. He has a very bad feeling. He clutches his head in despair, already predicting the worst. Our summoner is definitely going to cause trouble someday. Speaking of trouble, we get a little flashback to Gobang absolutely clowning on a tiny Cossack, but Cossack is having none of it. He gets enraged and blasts Gobang with a powerful kick. He sends the giant barbarian flying right into the refrigerator. Joo-hyuk screams in horror, not for his summons, mind you, but for his poor, innocent fridge. He has seen enough. Using his summoner's authority, he forcibly recalls them both. The damage is done. The ultimate tragedy has occurred. The kimchi his mom gave him is now a crime scene. To escape the L he just took, he decides to visit his parents the next day. The following morning, he arrives at their apartment building. He opens the door and cheerfully announces that he is home. Someone's voice calls out, welcoming him in. He finds his mom nagging his dad, who is laid up in a hospital bed right in the living room. His dad grumbles that bones do not heal that easily, but his mom helps him sit up anyway. His mom tells him she has made stew and that his younger brother is out buying tofu. And soon, a delicious bubbling pot of stew is ready for dinner. As they eat, his parents tell him not to worry about them and to just live his own life. Joo-hyuk decides to drop the most obvious hint in history, saying it would be a great time to awaken. His dad immediately catches on, asking if he is talking about himself. He just laughs, saying Joo-hyuk is too much of a coward, just like him. His mom then asks why he is not at work. He tries to lie, saying it's his day off. She calls him out instantly. His face is apparently a dead giveaway whenever he lies, but her expression softens. She tells him that no matter what, she believes in her son. Joo-hyuk is deeply touched by her faith in him. Then she adds one very important condition: never use loan sharks. Her words trigger a horrific flashback to the news report about the Smile Cash murders, the very same loan sharks Cossack bodied. He quickly changes the subject, asking his mom what happened with her job. She explains she got fired after confronting a rude customer who demanded she clean their garbage. Joo-hyuk puts it together. His mom is bold and can't stand injustice. And his dad? He fell for her hard and proudly calls it his life's greatest achievement. This leads Joo-hyuk to a simple conclusion. He and his brother inherited their father's certified weak man genes. Realizing his family is worried, he decides to hold off on telling them about his awakening. As he leaves, he hands an envelope full of cash to his brother, telling him it's for their parents. Min-hyuk stops him, looking a little hesitant. Joo-hyuk pats his shoulder, thinking his brother is just too shy to say thanks. But he could not be more wrong. Min-hyuk just wants to know where his cut is. Joo-hyuk just smiles, calls him a little monster, and wires him 500,000 won. Feeling inspired by his family, he takes a detour to the Awakening management office. He thinks to himself that seeing them makes him want to grind even harder. An image of team leader Jun pops up in his head, reminding him he is supposed to call ahead, but Joo-hyuk figures it is fine to just pop in. With monsters getting stronger, he knows he needs better protection, even with his energy barrier. He decides to buy a shield, but the first one they show him cost 100 million won. The price tag sends him into a state of complete and utter shock. His budget said, absolutely not. Overwhelmed by the cost and the pretty clerk, he tries to back out of the whole thing. The clerk quickly offers a more budget-friendly option, a light, self-repairing shield. He tries it on and immediately loves it, thinking it is a perfect match for his mace. He nervously asks how much this one is. The price is 40 million won. He trembles, but agrees to buy it. He completes the payment, finally owning his new gear. He can't help but think that talking to people is way harder than fighting goblins. As he is about to leave, a friendly-looking man strikes up a conversation. He introduces himself as Choi Hosuk, another player. Joo-hyuk shakes his hand. Hosuk reveals he is already in the 30-something floors. Hosuk offers to help him out if he ever gets stuck, and Joo-hyuk notes how friendly he seems. As Hosuk waves goodbye, Joo-hyuk marvels at his social skills. This guy definitely has a girlfriend. He is totally jealous. Later that night, back in his apartment, Joo-hyuk reviews his stats. He is already level 19, which means he is ready to take on the 19th floor. But before that, he has something important to do. Talk things over with Cossack. He summons Cossack, who looks startled. Joo-hyuk proudly shows off his new shield. Cossack is still worried, but Joo-hyuk insists he is a certified coward who will run at the first sign of trouble. Cossack makes him promise not to charge in recklessly. The deranged assassin eagerly makes Joo-hyuk swear that if things get dangerous, he and Go-bang will be sacrificed so he can escape. Just as they are about to start, Cossack's nose twitches. He smells something amazing. Joo-hyuk reveals a treat he bought just for him, a container of delicious king dumplings. Cossack's feeling smug that he's getting treats before that meat shield Go-bang. But just as he is about to take a bite, he turns to Joo-hyuk with a question. Do you have anyone who bears a grudge against you? Joo-hyuk, mouth full, immediately denies it. Cossack is not convinced. Someone is outside, he says, his voice low. Killing intent is overflowing. The words send a shiver down Joo-hyuk's spine. Killing intent? Cossack orders him to hide. Joo-hyuk scrambles back and activates his new energy shield, enveloping himself in a blue aura. A small metallic orb suddenly shoots from under the door. It slams with a loud crack and shatters. The remains of the device roll harmlessly across the floor. The door creaks open. A man stands in the doorway, holding a pistol. Joo-hyuk's eyes widen in shock. He recognizes him. It is the guy from the player shop. The man reveals a crazed, sadistic grin. He says he worked hard, tailing him. Gunman screams at him, telling him to take off his bracelet and open his inventory before he gets shot. He presses the cold barrel against Joo-hyuk. The poor boy is now sweating with terror. But as the gunman threatens him, a dark, menacing figure with a dagger erupts behind him. Just as he's monologuing, the figure, Cossack, makes his move. Cossack slams his fist down, hitting him hard with a handle. Hosuk's face gets absolutely rearranged. He mutters, "There was another one?" before taking a dirt nap. Not the brightest bulb. With the threat neutralized, Cossack just stands there as Hosuk faceplants on the floor. Joo-hyuk is just staring, completely shook. He can't believe what just happened. Then the relief hits. He starts cheering for the deranged assassin, who looks totally confused by the praise. He's just glad Cossack didn't go for his usual, much messier, party trick. But then it clicks. This guy must be an item broker. Basically, they're griefers who hunt other players in the real world where the rules don't apply. He remembers the agents warning him about this. Personal security was a perk for a reason. The fear finally sets in. If he couldn't summon outside the tower, he would have been toast. Our boy realizes just how OP his skill is, while Cossack ties a cute little ribbon. Cossack wants to just ditch the body somewhere, but Joo-hyuk reminds him that the police exist. Cossack's response? A simple K. Meanwhile, back at the agency, they notice player Bong went shopping again. Team leader Jun Gwang-il sees he bought a shield. They're upset Ju-hyuk won't sign the contract. Based on his gear, they think he's a melee tank. Folks, they could not be more wrong. Team leader Jun decides he's getting that full set of armor to Ju-hyuk, one way or another. Suddenly, his phone rings. It's the police player task force. He answers, and his expression goes from calm to pure terror in a split second. Next thing you know, he's burning rubber through the city streets. He sprints up the stairs, absolutely panicking. He should have forced the contract. He's terrified something bad happened to his golden goose. Back at the apartment, the cops are arresting Ho-suk, who's putting on a whole drama. He even tries to claim Ju-hyuk kidnapped him. The cops are not impressed, but rules are rules. Ju-hyuk is already picturing himself in a prison jumpsuit. Bro is spiraling. And right on cue, team leader Jun bursts through the door. Ho-suk thinks his backup has arrived. Team leader, it's me! But the agent just delivers a vicious right hook. Poor guy. Ho-suk's nose bleeds because of the impact, completely clueless as to what just happened. Team leader Jun is furious. He revokes his player license on the spot for attacking another player. He's not even listening to Ho-suk's pathetic excuses. He is fuming. He tells the cops the NIS is on the way. Ho-suk's face goes completely pale. For those who don't know, the NIS does not play around when it comes to player crimes. Suddenly, Ho-suk is on his knees begging, but Jun has zero chill left. He tells him to lawyer up, knowing full well no one would dare touch this case. And even if he runs to the tower, he'll just pop back out here. There's no escape. The trash handled, he turns to Ju-hyuk with a terrifyingly intense look. Are you hurt? Then he does a full 90-degree bow, apologizing for the agency's massive slip-up. His new mission in life? Protect player Bong, no matter what it takes. Next day, Cossack asks if the thief got the death penalty. Cheerful as always. Our main guy says probably not, so Cossack asks for the jail's address. Yeah, that's a hard no. Anyway, it's time to grind. He summons Gobang, who is hyped about his 5-star rating. The crew enters floor 19. Mission, defeat 30 goblin shamans. These guys don't hit hard, but their curse debuffs are super annoying. Gobang doesn't even hesitate. He just full sends it right into the mob. The shamans immediately unload a storm of dark magic, completely covering him. But Gobang just roars, blowing the curse away with a shockwave. Ju-hyuk is speechless. Bro just canceled a debuff by yelling. Cossack pops up, telling Gobang it's time to speedrun this floor. Two of them dive into the fray, becoming a whirlwind of pure destruction. They tear through the shamans like it's nothing, an absolute slaughter. Ju-hyuk grabs his gear, ready to finally do something this time. Before he can even move, the mission clear notification pops up. All ready? He looks over, and Cossack and Gobang are just standing there, the job already done. Cossack laughs at him. He realizes they did it on purpose just to keep him on the sidelines. His ego is bruised, but hey, another S++ clear and a platinum badge for the collection. Next up, floor 20. This one's known as the talent discriminator, for a reason. Cossack warns him this floor is no joke. Every single type of goblin is here. Their plan? Ju-hyuk stays put while they handle everything. Again, the mission. Defeat 100 goblins and a hobgoblin in 10 hours. Either they abandon the mission, or die. Ju-hyuk sighs. Looks like he's on the bench for this one too. Gobang leaps in to pull aggro, while Cossack zips ahead to clean up. The taunt works like a charm. He pulls a massive train of angry goblins, but Cossack isn't letting him have all the fun. Blazes towards Gobang in a flash of blue light. I'm going first, Mr. Meat Shield. He launches himself high into the air, soaring right over the entire goblin army. Ju-hyuk is completely stunned. He can't believe what he's seeing. Then, Cossack lets out a desperate scream. Summoner Bong! No! Uh-oh. As Cossack screams, Ju-hyuk's entire life flashes before his eyes. He's always been an introvert, even as a little kid. Another kid just walks up and snatches his favorite toy truck right from his hands. Zero hesitation. Things only got worse in elementary school. Being poor just painted a giant target on his back. Through middle and high school, he was basically a ghost, a total loner. He was always way too scared to even try changing things. A certified social outcast. Bro was socially buffering 24/7. Monsters are different. They're just video game mobs. There's no social pressure. All he has to do is crush them and get that sweet, sweet loot. Snapping back to reality, Cossack is still screaming his head off. Summoner Bong. No. Ju-hyuk completely ignores him and charges headfirst into a group of spear goblins. He absolutely smashes one right in the face with his mace. Bro is cooking. He charges into the goblin horde, mowing them down without slowing for a second. Cossack cannot believe his eyes. You're using Shadow Walker at that level. But then he sees it. A massive volley of magical arrows is heading straight for Ju-hyuk. Ju-hyuk throws his shield up just in time, bracing for the hit. The energy barrier saves him, but the sheer force of the attack almost knocks him over. And that's when the danger finally hits him. Did he get a little too cocky? His ego flew a little too close to the sun. Panicked, he immediately starts screaming for help and running for his life. Cossack springs into action, telling him to just keep running toward the cliff. Gobang powers up, ready to protect his summoner no matter what. Ju-hyuk is running out of stamina fast as he races towards the cliff's edge. He finally makes it to a dead end. Are we there yet? Wait, there's nothing here. He's been led right into a trap. Goblins close in, spears pointed right at him. He is totally cornered. His only thought is, "Welp, I'm going to die." Just as the spears are about to hit, a gigantic hand slams down, blocking the attack. It's Gobang! He's towering over the terrified goblins. With one earth-shaking stomp, he sends the entire goblin squad flying like rag dolls. Meanwhile, Cossack is speedrunning up the cliff, slicing down any goblins in his way. At the top, the goblin shamans who fired the arrows are getting ready for another round. Cossack appears, sword at the ready. He unleashes a blinding flurry of slashes, completely wiping out the shamans. Standing over the field of fallen goblins, Cossack wonders if it's finally over. He figures they've cleared about 100 mobs, so the boss should be showing up any second. Juhyuk is just blown away. You two wipe them out in an instant. He tries to thank Gobang, but the giant meat shield is standing way too close for comfort. Suddenly, a loud guttural roar echoes through the entire area. The final evolution of a goblin appears. It's a hobgoblin. Cossack immediately leaps into action, calling for the meat shield. Gobang lets out a mighty roar, which pretty much means, "Leave it to me." He effortlessly catches the hobgoblin's sword strike with his bare hand and chokes its neck. Cossack sees his opening. "You did your part. Hold on tight." The hobgoblin pinned, Cossack drives both glowing swords straight through its head. With the boss defeated, a bunch of system messages pop up. Floor 20 is clear. Cossack praises their teamwork, and Juhyuk decides it's just better to let them handle everything. Juhyuk thanks them both for their hard work. In response, they immediately drop and declare their loyalty. Another S++ rank clear for the 20th floor, and another platinum badge in the bag. The news explodes. Live chats are going crazy over the mysterious S++ ranker's return. At the Awakening Management Office, the director is stressing out. This 20-floor record is drawing way too much attention. His subordinate asks if they should control the press, but he shuts that down immediately. Instead, he asks if they've finished digging into Player Bong's family situation. Agent reports on Juhyuk's father, Mr. Bong Soo-chol, who's in rehab after a hip surgery. The director immediately orders them to get his dad into the best all-expenses-paid rehab center in the country, the kind of healthcare plan dreams are made of. Next up is his younger brother, Bong Min-hyuk. He's a freshman about to enlist. The perfect gift? A scholarship. Lastly, there's his mother, Mrs. Hongum-ja. She's currently unemployed after getting unfairly fired over a rude customer. The agent warns that she's the one they really need to watch out for. Apparently, she's super intense. The director just smiles. The plan is simple. Support the family, and win over the player. A bit later, back at Juhyuk's apartment, a knock at the door sends Cossack into high alert. Gobang gets way too excited, shouting that the delicious-smelling delivery has arrived. The food radar never misses. Juhyuk quickly throws a blanket over Gobang, telling them to hide so they aren't seen. The delivery guy is impressed by the huge order and throws in some free-fried dumplings. As the guy leaves, Juhyuk mutters about how he only got one plate of dumplings for such a big order. But then he realizes there are no coupons either. Now he's actually offended. Of course, he admits to himself that even if he had coupons, he's too shy to actually use them. The coupons will just expire before his courage spawns. With the coast clear, he tells his summons they can come out. Gobang is immediately mesmerized by the smell of the jjajangmyeon. Gobang starts chowing down, but then inexplicably starts crunching on the ceramic bowl, making Cossack freak out. Juhyuk tells them to eat up, saying he has something to check first, and opens his system window. A notification pops up. A new perk has been granted for collecting 20 platinum badges. That's his 20th badge. He wonders what kind of awesome reward he'll get this time. Suddenly, a bright golden mystery box appears. The system says the perk is a random box. Juhyuk is completely stunned. A gacha pull. Bro is getting a gacha box for all his hard work. He's completely overwhelmed by all the choices. Since it's all random anyway, he decides to just skim. First, he scrolls past the basic junk. Mana stones and herbs are lame, and he doesn't need new gear right now. A tower jumping ticket seems like a total scam. You miss out on all the clear rewards. The rune of level up is way better. A multinational tower access ticket sounds kinda cool, letting him grind in other countries. The ultimate jackpot is the grade confirmation summon ticket. Imagine pulling an LSSR rank summon. Bro could just retire and let his new OP friend do all the work. That's the dream. Then he remembers something crucial. The box gives him not one, but 3 random items. Oh, the possibilities. He desperately reaches for the box, praying to the gacha gods. Please, I'll be good, I swear. Open. A pillar of light erupts from the box. He waits with wide, hopeful eyes. And his first prize is 10 kilograms of mana stones. What a total letdown. He can farm those anytime. Still, that's an easy 5 million won. Can't be too mad about free cash. Alright, moving on to the second pull. He opens the box again. This time, he learns a new skill. Chaos Lightning Staff. Sounds like it's straight out of a video game. Now, for the grand finale. He reaches for the box one last time. He gets a rune of summon grade up. This right here is a certified jackpot. Rune can upgrade one of his summons to a higher grade. This is exactly what he needed. The only problem is, which of his summons gets the power up? He figures he should give it to Cossack, his loyal day one. Even though Gobang, his personal meat shield, definitely eats way more food. He decides to save the rune for Cossack. He's got plenty of firepower for now. But first, it's time to check out that new skill. The Chaos Lightning Staff infuses a weapon with lightning. And it's a growth-type skill. He immediately learns it. First form is unlocked, and the technique downloads straight into his brain. Alright, time for a test run. He grabs his mace and channels the energy. With a mighty yell, he unleashes the Lightning Soul Chaser. Absolutely nothing happens. Of course, it didn't work. He realizes that if players could use skills in the real world, society would have collapsed a long time ago. Cossack, looking completely confused, asks why he's swinging a weapon around the apartment. Juhyuk proudly flashes a peace sign, announcing he got a new growth-type skill. Cossack's meal slips from his hands as his face drains of all color. Tears well in his eyes as horror takes over. His appetite left the chat immediately. Seeing an opportunity, Gobang instantly snatches the fallen food, which sends Cossack into a rage. As his summons fight over scraps, Juhyuk just sighs and unsummons them both. The next day, Juhyuk sits and thinks. He knows exactly why Cossack is so worried. It's because he's a summoner. His summons do all the heavy lifting in a fight. That makes him extremely vulnerable, especially since he can summon in the real world. He remembers Cossack's previous master from a parallel universe, someone far stronger than him. And yet, they still died, and their world was destroyed right along with them. So it's only natural for Cossack to worry. But he just wants to try out his cool new skill. He decides to just talk them into it. They have to obey him anyway. Summon. Cossack and Gobang appear, and Cossack looks like he's aged a year from pure stress. Juhyuk figures it out. Cossack thinks his new offensive skill is a liability. Deranged Assassin gravely warns him that the skill might work on goblins, but it'll be useless against orcs. Suddenly, Juhyuk deduces his summons are readying to tie him up. Are you seriously going to use a butterfly knot? Cossack's eye glows red. Of course not, he says darkly. Summon principle number 3 is now in effect. The third principle states that if a command conflicts with the summoner's safety, safety always comes first. Before he can even react, Gobang grabs him tightly, completely immobilizing him. Cossack smacks Gobang on the head. We'll save it for the tower, clown, Cossack shrieks. Their plan is simple. Gobang will hold Juhyuk safely while Cossack clears the entire floor himself. Sighing, Juhyuk resorts to his ultimate move. Folks, this is the legendary Sad Puppy Eyes attack. He swears he won't be reckless, promising to just kill one enemy slowly and carefully. Putting safety first, he begs Cossack to trust him just this once. Cossack remains unconvinced. Finally, Cossack gives in. Fine, but I will intervene if it gets dangerous. Deal, they agree, striking a pose. The contract is sealed. With that settled, the team enters the 21st floor of the Black Tower. Cossack explains that orcs are strong but dumb. Probably smarter than Meat Shield, though. Gobang is not amused. Before they begin, Juhyuk wants to get some practice in with his new mace skill. Cossack helpfully suggests using Gobang as a practice dummy. He assures him it won't even leave a scratch. Even Gobang agrees, but Juhyuk completely refuses. He threatens to charge in alone if they keep it up. He decides it'll be way easier to just practice on an actual orc. Time to move out. The mission is to defeat 30 forest orcs in 4 hours. A horde of them appears, axes ready. Without waiting for the signal, Cossack and Gobang charge in. Gobang turns into a living cannonball, smashing through the orc lines with devastating force. Meanwhile, Cossack is a literal blur of motion, slicing up orcs before they can even react. Juhyuk can only watch in disbelief. His summons are way too fast. At this rate, the fight will be over before he even gets to try his new skill. But as Cossack lands, an orc appears right behind him. His summons clear the field, leaving just one orc. You saved one for me? Okay then. In a flash of blue energy, he uses Shadow Step, catapulting like a madman. I'll watch from back here, Cossack tells him. Juhyuk swoops in like a bolt of lightning. The orc's strike comes crashing down, but Juhyuk simply raises himself out of its path. He leaps into the air. The first form of his skill is just a simple vertical strike. The power behind it is on another level entirely. He activates the skill, Chaos Lightning Staff. Unleashing the first form, he brings the electrified mace crashing down on the orc. The attack connects with the orc's head in a devastating explosion of power. Juhyuk looks on, absolutely thrilled. He knew this skill would be awesome. And just like that, the orc is toast. Juhyuk is feeling himself right now, admiring his new toy. He's thinking this is way too easy. Bro is definitely on a power trip. Wait, there's more. Another giant orc steps into view, completely unaware of Juhyuk's presence. Juhyuk just looks up like, you want some too? Suddenly, a massive foot comes out of nowhere and flattens the orc. Instant delete. It's Gobang. Juhyuk's like, oops, was I only supposed to get one? And that's another S++ clear for the 21st floor. He levels up and gets some sweet loot. The next day, same story, he one-shots a desert orc, another S++ clear for floor 22. And the day after, a cave orc gets folded. That's an S++ clear on floor 23. Even a volcano orc is just a minor inconvenience. S++ on floor 24. This is getting ridiculous. With his summons, this guy is unstoppable. Now he's hyped for the big one, the 25th floor. Back home, he's a little annoyed about only catching one monster at a time, but he decides it's time to treat his summons. Suddenly, Cossack pops in with a salute shouting loyalty. He asks why his master isn't taking a day off. Juhyuk tosses him a summon grade-up rune, pretending he just found it. Cossack's first question, "Can I eat this?" His expression changes the moment he recognizes what he's looking at. This rune is anything but ordinary. What? Can't believe it's a grade increase rune. Juhyuk asks if he likes it. Cossack is losing his mind. He's like, "For real? I'll be SSR rank." The dude is so touched. He's literally crying, vowing to protect Juhyuk even better, and seeing his summon this happy makes Juhyuk happy too. Juhyuk tells him to use it now, but Cossack explains that rushing the upgrade could be dangerous. He promises to come back looking awesome. For now though, he's just gonna chill and watch some TV. They're on the couch, and Cossack complains about a rerun. Juhyuk tells him to just use the replay, and suddenly he freezes. He orders Cossack to rewind the channel. When he does, Juhyuk yells stop when he sees a familiar face on the news. Is that his mom? He's in total shock. Why is she on TV? His mom, Hungam-ja, is protesting all by herself outside a giant corporate building. The sign says, "Oppose unfair contract termination." She got fired from her job. She couldn't stand how unfair it was. Some jerk customer made her take out their personal trash, and the company told her to apologize when she stood her ground. The nerve. She refused to apologize for something like that, so they just fired her on the spot. She protested alone for over 10 days, getting nothing but shade from company execs walking by. But she's not giving up. Suddenly, a man in a suit approaches her. He introduces himself as Lee Chung-suk. He's a lawyer from the super famous Park and Kim law firm. She's totally surprised. A lawyer? For her? She immediately gets defensive, thinking the company sent him to sue her. She's ready to throw hands. The lawyer calms her down. He's actually here to help. He wants to sue the company. And get this, his top-tier law firm will represent her completely free of charge. He says an acquaintance told him about her case. His firm takes on these kinds of projects for free every year. She's a little suspicious, but it sounds legit. She's not sure if she should accept. He tells her it's a blessing for her hard work. She finally agrees. He snaps his fingers with a grin. All right, let's start the media campaign. Instantly, a crowd of reporters swarms her. He tells her to spill all the tea, they'll edit it later. With new determination, she faces the cameras, ready to tell her side of the story. Back to the present. Juhyuk is absolutely crushed. His mom was going through all that alone. He feels like a total failure. What's the point of having two sons if they can't even help their mom? But then he thinks, how did she afford a lawyer from a firm like Park and Kim? Cossack, always the problem solver, draws his blades. He asks if he should go visit the company. Bro is so ready to throw down. Juhyuk just sighs. At least Cossack is always ready for action. He stops him, saying his mom has a good lawyer. Cossack backs down, but wanted to send a message. Juhyuk immediately starts planning to sell all his loot to pay for the lawyer's fees. Just then, his phone rings. It's his dad. He picks up. His dad immediately asks if he saw the news about his mom, but his dad tells him not to worry. The lawyer is free. Juhyuk is stunned. His dad just laughs it off. Then his dad drops another bombshell. He got a call from Ilsung Hospital. He got selected for a special surgery project. He's getting admitted in a few days. And the best part, it's all free. Juhyuk can't believe his ears. His dad tells him not to worry and hangs up. Juhyuk promises to visit soon. He knows Ilsung is a top hospital, but this all feels way too convenient. His phone rings again. It's his brother. His brother is fuming about their mom. He says he was so mad when he saw the news. He offers to give back the allowance Juhyuk sent him to help with the lawsuit. Juhyuk asks about the laptop, but his brother says he's good. He has enough for everything now. Turns out he got a scholarship. He thinks good deeds bring good luck. Juhyuk asks what kind of scholarship. His brother says it's from the Awakens Management Bureau. After hanging up, it all clicks. This was not a miracle. The lawyer, the hospital, the scholarship. It was all the Awakens Management Bureau. He immediately calls the team leader. They agree to meet up. At the restaurant, Juhyuk cuts right to the chase. He wants to know why the bureau is all up in his family's business. Agent doesn't even deny it. He just grills some meat and says it was necessary. He explains that family drama could mess up Juhyuk's performance in the tower. Juhyuk presses him. Isn't that kind of treatment only for the elite team? Juhyuk is confused. He's on a standard contract, so why is he getting the VIP treatment? Suddenly, team leader Jun slams his hand on the table. Juhyuk literally shrinks in his seat. He slides a document across the table. The title says it all. Ultra Elite Contract. Team leader Jun grins, saying it's time to talk about the real deal. The elite team contract. Juhyuk is completely blindsided by this. He doesn't know what to say. Team leader Jun slides the elite contract forward. He's like, let's make this official, right now. Juhyuk is sweating bullets. Bro really came with the paperwork ready to go. But our boy decides to play hard to get. He's all, oh, I'm not that talented. I'm not confident. Bro is suffering from imposter syndrome in 4K. The team leader isn't having it. He's like, are you for real? after setting a record nobody has ever seen before? Joo-hyuk gets called out immediately. Yeah, trying to act humble after clearing 24 floors at S++ rank is a tough look. And team leader Jun pulls a power move. He hits him with a full 90-degree bow, begging him to join. Even brings up the recent home invasion, reminding Joo-hyuk he needs the protection only the elite team can offer. And that hits home. The memory of that attack is still fresh. Joo-hyuk tells him to sit up, but he's still hesitant. He's not a fan of being watched all the time. See, the elite contract requires constant video recording, and he absolutely cannot let Cossack and Gobang get on camera. But Jun waves it off. He says they can totally customize the security and recording to his liking. Now Joo-hyuk is listening. The deal is insane. A private, secure house, protection when he's out, and even bodyguards for his family. And for the final blow, they offer him 2 houses. One for him and one for his family. Joo-hyuk is losing his mind. He's already daydreaming about his new real estate empire. Jun knows he's got him. Sign here, he says. Joo-hyuk seems high on the dream of home ownership. But right at the last second, he stops. Jun is completely shook. Joo-hyuk asks for a little more time to think it over. Confused, Jun asks why he's hesitating. With a charming smile, Joo-hyuk says he just needs some advice first. The agent reluctantly has to agree. The next day, a brilliant flash of purple light fills Joo-hyuk's apartment. A system message announces a special super rare assassin. The light is so bright, Joo-hyuk has to shield his eyes. Cossack appears in a ridiculously flashy new SSR outfit. Joo-hyuk yells at him to change into something less blinding. With Cossack in his normal gear, Joo-hyuk lays it all out. He needs his advice on the elite team offer before they hit the next floor. Cossack scoffs at the idea of asking Gobang for his opinion, then listens to the deal. I am in favor, Cossack declares. He says a player of Joo-hyuk's national level deserves that VIP treatment. Joo-hyuk worries they'll force him to grind to floor 60. Joo-hyuk offers to train harder, but Cossack shuts that down instantly. Cossack clarifies. All he wants is for his summoner to live a long, safe life, because the summoner's safety is power itself. Cossack is basically the world's most overprotective bodyguard. He says where he's from, there are tons of legend-grade summons. If Joo-hyuk stays safe, he can eventually pull them all, and every single one of them would pledge absolute loyalty to him, as long as he doesn't break the rules. Even gets hyped talking about summoning demigod-level monsters that are way beyond human. The thought of summoning actual demigods has Joo-hyuk absolutely speechless and trembling. He asks if he can summon one now. Cossack is like, well yes, but actually no. But it's possible once his summoning skill levels up. Cossack's advice is simple. Stay alive, and keep pulling on that random summon gacha. That's his ultimate move. Joo-hyuk does the math. That's at least 12 summons a year, plus any extra he gets from item drops. Of course, this all depends on his gacha luck not being complete trash. He checks the cooldown. 19 days until his next pull. He's got time to decide. Cossack tells him that instead of refusing the offer, he should just make one firm demand. The condition? Joo-hyuk gets full control over when and how he climbs the tower. Otherwise, the corporate suits will push him too hard. Thinking about it seems to trigger some past trauma for Cossack, who clutches his head and starts sobbing. He pulls himself together. As long as that condition is met, the state support is a good thing. Joo-hyuk thanks him for the solid advice. Decision made, Joo-hyuk summons Gobang. Before he can even say welcome, Cossack starts beef. Gobang isn't impressed. He says a warrior doesn't greet just anyone. Oh, that was the wrong thing to say. Cossack puffs out his chest, flexing his new SSR rank. Gobang is absolutely shook. Cossack gets right in his face, taunting him about being a measly R rank. The big guy is completely intimidated. Gobang tries to play it cool, but he's clearly terrified. Even our stoic meatball is walking on eggshells around him. Seeing this, Joo-hyuk feels a pang of pity. He decides the next grade-up rune is definitely going to meatball. With that settled, they enter the 25th floor. The mission: kill a whole lot of orcs. A huge horde immediately charges them. Joo-hyuk is feeling confident. He thinks he can actually snag a few kills for himself this time. Bro wants his name on the scoreboard. Cossack is ready to celebrate his new rank. He tells Meatball to go in first and pull aggro. Gobang roars, "Me! Eat all aggro," and dives headfirst into the horde. He leaps into the air and brings his fist down with insane earth-shattering force. The orcs look up in confusion just before the ground erupts, sending them flying everywhere. With a confident grin, Cossack announces, "SSR Cossack, launch," and shoots off like a blue comet. The backdraft is so strong, it felt like a fighter jet just flew by. Cossack becomes a blur of blue energy, weaving through the battlefield and slicing through dozens of orcs in an instant. He unleashes Blade Explosion. It's not an explosion anymore, it's a full-on missile strike that obliterates everything nearby. But he's not invincible. An orc chieftain screams an order, and a volley of magic arrows rains down on Cossack. The arrows find their mark, peppering him with small but powerful explosions. The massive orc chieftain grins, thinking it finally has the upper hand, but its eye widens in shock as Cossack instantly teleports right in front of its face. "Surprise," Cossack says with a sadistic grin, unleashing his new skill, Despicable Ambush. He lands with a satisfied smile, splattered in monster blood. The few surviving orcs are completely demoralized by the slaughter. Why the sour faces already? Cossack taunts, his daggers glowing. We're just getting started. Realizing his summons are about to solo the entire floor, Juhyuk panics and charges in, activating Shadow Step. As the orcs look on, our boy gets ready to strike, determined to claim a piece of the fight. Juhyuk remembers Cossack's advice, that the summoner's safety is power itself, and just staying alive is his most important job. The assignment? Don't die. Everything else is optional. But while he understands the logic, Juhyuk knows he can't just be a bystander forever. He needs to get strong enough so that everyone who worries about him can finally be at ease. That's his new goal. He's decided he can't just be a summon bot forever. This dude needs to start pulling his own weight. Instead of the mace, he goes for a nasty kick, sending the orc flying. It hits the floor hard, but wastes no time getting back on its feet. Juhyuk pops his first skill, Chaos Lightning Staff. He follows up with the Lightning Soul Chaser, slamming it right on the orc's dome. He lands, but there's no time to pose. More orcs are on the way. He activates Shadow Walker, turning into a blue blur and vaulting over his attacker. While airborne, he brings the mace down again, dodging the orc's attack, crushing another skull. He stays in the air, chaining his attacks. And just like that, a system notification pops up. His Chaos Lightning Staff has unlocked a second form, Scattered Lightning. He grins, eager to test out the new toy as 3 more orcs rush him. He activates the skill, swinging his mace in a huge circle. Golden bolts of lightning erupt from the swing, chaining between all the nearby enemies. It's a new area of effect attack. One swing zaps 5 different targets with chain lightning. Super efficient. Juhyuk is absolutely loving it. Cossack, meanwhile, is just standing there, totally confused. His confusion turns to shock when he realizes Juhyuk is right in the middle of the fray. Cossack panics and rushes over to his master. He immediately starts nagging him for being reckless and breaking his promise to play it safe. Juhyuk starts to apologize, but then he stops. Wait a second, why is he the master apologizing to his own summon? Bro finally snaps. He's tired of being babied and declares that in the tower, he's a total beast. While Cossack mumbles about staying safe, Juhyuk yells, "Forget safety first." He gets totally fired up, vowing to charge in and smash the orc great chieftain's head in. And speak of the devil, the massive orc chieftain spawns right in front of him. Juhyuk immediately regrets everything. As the chieftain swings its giant axe, our boy goes right back to screaming for Cossack to save him. A flash of blue, Cossack zips in and yanks his master out of the way just in time. Reduced to a terrified little chibi, Juhyuk realizes he should have just kept his mouth shut. Bro folded faster than a lawn chair. Cossack helps him up. Then the master turns to his squad and tells them to take out the chieftain. Gobang steps up to tank, and Cossack grins. "Let's go, Meat Shield." The 2 summons launch themselves at the boss, one a golden comet, the other a bolt of blue lightning. Gobang's hand ignites with radiant golden light. He catches the giant's weapon head-on and crushes it like it was made of glass. He brings both fists down on the chieftain's shoulders, staggering the huge beast. The chieftain is stunned. Cossack pops his despicable ambush skill and slices the boss's head clean off. And with that, the 25th floor is cleared. Juhyuk gets a level up, an S rank, and another platinum badge. His reward for collecting 25 badges is a new encore perk. He gets to choose one of his previous rewards again, and he instantly picks Trait Enhancement. His summoning trait gets a massive buff. The status window confirms he can now have 3 summons at once. His party is growing. He wonders who his 3rd member will be, but he has to wait 18 days to find out. Back at home, it's dinner time. Cossack, trying to act tough, sheepishly requests tteokbokki. Juhyuk reminds him he can't handle spicy food, but Cossack claims his SSR rank nerfed that weakness. "Sure, buddy, a feast is laid out." Gobang digs right in, saying it's not spicy at all, just sweet. Feeling confident, Cossack takes on the challenge, and his head immediately explodes in cartoon flames. That wasn't seasoning, that was a boss fight. Cossack twitches on the floor. Gobang suggests they find a new teammate, Savage. Now that he's cleared 25 floors, Juhyuk decides it's finally time for the big family reveal. He shows up at their apartment with a huge tray of high-quality beef. His mom is shocked at the price, but his dad just tells her to relax and enjoy the meal. As they eat, Juhyuk feels a sense of peace. His family's problems are solved. Now for the hard part. He gets their attention, telling them not to freak out about what he's about to say. With everyone listening, he finally tells them the truth. He's an awakened player, and their reaction is nothing, just blank stares, totally unimpressed. His dad thinks he's talking about a video game, and his brother tells him to eat his fruit. The disrespect is real. Okay, plan A was a bust. Time for plan B. He makes a quick phone call to his team leader. The next day, the whole family gets dropped off by a limo in front of the giant agency building. The agent greets them and confirms it all. Not only is Juhyuk a player, but he's considered an elite national asset. Guess that got their attention. And just like that, it's official. Juhyuk signs on the dotted line, locking in that sweet elite player contract. He can barely believe it himself. An elite contract. Just a little while ago, this was a total pipe dream. life comes at you fast. In the meeting, the agent apologizes that his starting salary is only 2 billion won. Bro's brain literally blue screens, saying, no, it's fine. Joo-hyuk has one condition. He doesn't want his S++ rank to go public. He's terrified that if his face gets out, his family won't be able to live a normal life. The agent smoothly changes the subject, asking if his family liked the new house. Joo-hyuk says it's amazing. He flashes back to a text from his brother. His mom actually cried tears of joy. Team leader Jun then shows him the fully furnished apartment that's been prepared just for him. Joo-hyuk is totally blown away. For our boy, a clean 2-room apartment is basically a penthouse. Meanwhile, in the actual biggest penthouse in Korea, 2 women in bikinis are enjoying a private indoor pool. Ridiculously ripped, tattooed man shows up behind them. He gets cozy with the 2 girls. Bro entered the chat with maximum charisma. Meet Yoo Chulman, South Korea's rank 1 player. He suggests they go out for some real fun. This guy is the real deal, an all-weapon warrior, currently grinding on the 66th floor of the tower. Later, they're drinking booze that costs 5 million won a glass. One of the women butters him up, then asks if he knows who the new S++ ranker is. She means the guy who got consecutive S++ clears all the way to the 25th floor. Chulman scoffs, dismissing the 25th floor as nothing and calling the player a low-level punk. She presses, pointing out that an S++ clear is a world first. The other girl snaps at her to shut up. No, keep talking, he says, before dumping the expensive drink all over her head. His face is dark with rage. Listen well. What do you think would happen if I stopped clearing the 66th floor? He throws the bottle, snarling that if the next tower appears in a major city, South Korea will be destroyed. The woman trembles, apologizing as he blames her for the potential collapse. After his little tantrum, Chulman stands alone, feeling like absolute garbage. He just can't stand it. Everywhere he goes, all he hears is S++, S++. Pressure and jealousy are getting to him. The number 1 player is having a total meltdown over a rookie. He went from top dog to top hater real quick. He thinks about the insane offers he's getting from other countries. China offered 180 billion won, a mansion and a private jet. Japan offered even more, a 200 billion won salary and 10 maids who would do anything he wants. He's been grinding on the 66th floor for months, and all anyone can talk about is some rookie. He seethes, calling them ungrateful. His eyes glow with a menacing light. Maybe he should just ditch Korea for good. He flashes back to the 66th floor, an undead zone filled with terrifying specters that ignore physical attacks. The demonic energy they give off is so draining that he has to rest for 3 days after a single run. Even with full support, he's barely survived each time. Clearing the 66th floor seems impossible right now. Back in the present, he mumbles to himself, seriously considering making a move to naturalize. He knows it would cause absolute chaos. The news would explode and the tower's collapse countdown would begin. In just 3 months, the tower would start to collapse, wiping everything out. He grins, thinking he's the nation's only hope. It's already too late. He won't be in Korea by then. He cackles, calling them morons. He pictures the entire city falling into a sinkhole, screaming, regret it, and despair. And while our number 1 player is having his villain arc moment, Joo-hyuk is awkwardly accepting a delivery of 10 fried chickens. He walks through his new building, thinking how nice it is to live with other players. The management handles everything, from small errands to laundry and cleaning. Bruh unlocked the premium life subscription. The building has it all. Restaurants, gyms, karaoke, even a pool. He totally should have moved in sooner. He happily brings the chicken inside, a reward for Cossack after they cleared the 26th floor. It was a tough mission, but thanks to his shadow step skill, he even managed to kill one himself. He bursts in, shouting, Mr. Meatball, Mr. Cossack, time for chicken, but his summons are completely ignoring him. Yoo-hyuk tries to snap his guys out of it. Hello? The chicken is here. Turns out, they were mesmerized by a girl group music video on his new 100-inch TV. And honestly, same. The performance is dazzling. Soon enough, Go-bang snags the first piece of chicken. The 3 of them settle in on the couch. Joo-hyuk decides they'll grind straight through to the 29th floor. Cossack, mid-chew, asks why they're stopping there. Joo-hyuk lays out his master plan. Once his random summon is off cooldown, they'll hit floor 30 as a 4-person party. Cossack is absolutely thrilled at the thought of a new teammate. Go-bang cheers them on, while Cossack has a brief crisis about being replaced as the right-hand man. Later, team leader Jun delivers a special item Joo-hyuk requested. It's Volcano Orc leather armor, which blocks cold and chills with a flame aura. Joo-hyuk thanks him, and Jun says it's all part of the job to support elite players. And with that, they head into floor 27, which is known for its brutal cold. But thanks to his new gear, Joo-hyuk feels perfectly warm. He asks a bare-chested Go-bang if he's cold, but the big guy just grunts, warrior feel no cold. Cossack, on the other hand, is literally a popsicle, chattering that he can just use magic to warm up. Joo-hyuk just sighs. Man, if Go-bang just had a brain, he'd be the true SSR of this party. Suddenly, Cossack can't take it anymore and blasts forward, surrounded by an icy aura. He unleashes a massive blizzard, clearly going berserk from the cold. Ju-hyuk watches calmly, noting that Cossack seems to have lost it. Ju-hyuk is so warm and cozy in his gear he can barely be bothered to move, but figures he should probably kill at least one monster. Ju-hyuk and Gobang follow Cossack into the fray. Before he can even do anything, a system alert pops up. Mission success. He's already leveled up. He didn't even get to warm up. But hey, another S++ clear and a platinum badge aren't bad. And even better, he finally got an equipment drop for himself. A weapon, no less. The Paladin Captain's Holy Sword. Inspects his new two-handed sword, but wait a second. Isn't this thing way too worn out? Ju-hyuk complains about his new loot. This beat-up sword is ridiculously heavy and seems worse than his current mace. Sighing, he decides it's junk and shoves it into his inventory, planning to sell it later. As he inspects it, the sword transforms, revealing its true glowing form. Turns out, it's a specialized weapon for wiping out the undead. The only downside? Its durability is trash, so it'll need constant repairs. The repair bill is the real final boss. So, with his new holy sword in hand, Ju-hyuk immediately tries to offload it on Gobang. But the big guy is a purist. He turns it down flat and flexes, saying, "Warrior, use fist." He then offers it to Cossack, who just scoffs. He's already got high-end gear, thank you very much. Well, looks like he's stuck with it. Now he has to drag this thing all the way to the player shop. He figures he might as well give it a couple of practice swings before he sells it. Alright, here we go. He lifts the sword, and it starts to give off a holy glow. He puts his whole body into it, swinging the massive blade around his fancy new living room. The insurance company is about to have so many questions. And after just 2 swings, my guy is completely gassed and sweating buckets. Cossack, of course, starts hyping him up, calling his pathetic display incredible. Ju-hyuk isn't falling for it, but Cossack explains that physical stats are nerfed outside the tower. When Ju-hyuk asks if there's a way to remove that limit, Cossack's answer is chilling. It's possible. Cossack explains that if the towers on Earth collapse, the boundary between worlds will vanish. When that happens, all player limits disappear. It would literally be the end of the world. Meanwhile, at the Japanese embassy in Seoul, a man takes a very suspicious phone call. He's told that the rabbit is leaving its old nest, which he calls excellent news. The voice on the phone warns him to handle the escort personally, because wolves are watching. This is Tomo, an embassy counselor. With a sinister look, he declares, a typhoon is coming soon. 2 days later, Ju-hyuk is checking the tower status. That whole apocalypse chat has him on edge. He realizes climbing the high floors is a job for pros like Yu Chul-min. He'll just stick to his own pace. With floor 28 cleared, it's time for floor 29. Safety first, as always. He remembers the jungle trolls on the last floor were a nightmare, attacking from giant trees. Even Cossack would have struggled against them, but luckily, they had their #1 meat shield. Gobang gave the trees a mighty shake, and the giant orcs are sent tumbling out of them. Cossack's flashy finish was cool and all, but he knows today's floor won't be so easy. That's because the plague trolls have appeared. They're covered in gross yellow pus that can infect players. Hyuk summons his team, SSR Cossack and R-rank Meat Shield, ready for action. Entering the plagued city, he asks if they need masks. Nope, they're immune. Must be nice. And with that, the duo just blitzes through the disgusting trolls, clearing the floor in record time. Another S++ clear, a level up, and a platinum badge. His summons are hyped for their reward. They're eagerly waiting for the after party, but Ju-hyuk just apologizes. Then he dismisses them right on the spot, leaving them to fade away crying for their master. Feels super guilty, but there's no way he's letting them track plague pus into his brand new house. The next day at the Awakening Management Office gym, someone is seriously grinding. This is Namgaeun, Korea's rank #2 player. She's a swordsman currently stuck on the 62nd floor. Monsters there have a dark, corrupting aura that eats away at players, and she can't find a way past them. She wonders if she's hit her limit, but as an elite, she has no choice but to push until she breaks. Time for a quick protein break. She chugs her shake and gets ready for another round. Suddenly, she sees a bunch of office workers rushing past the window in a panic. The quarterly reports suddenly became tomorrow's problem. It's Agent Lee Min-ah. She looks like she's in a huge hurry. Yan asks what's up, and Min-ah just asks if she's seen the news. As she leaves, Min-ah mutters under her breath, "That bastard Yu Chul-min." Turns out, Yu Chul-min is holding a press conference, trashing the Korean management office. He declares that since South Korea's future is bleak, he's leaving to become a Japanese player. Ju-hyuk is at the agency watching this unfold, and he is absolutely losing his mind. What? Team leader Jun confirms the news. Korea's rank #1 player has officially defected to Japan. This is why they called him in. Jun looks at him desperately and asks, "How long would it take you to reach the 60th floors?" Ju-hyuk does the math. With 90 days left, it's possible on paper, but he tells him it's too difficult. Tough floors need prep time, and his contract says he sets the pace. The agent looks absolutely devastated, apologizing for putting this pressure on him so soon. Ju-hyuk feels bad for the guy, but a no is a no. He can't make a promise he can't keep. Just then, Namgaeun bursts into the room, looking for the team leader. She asks if the US has agreed to lend them any light attribute items for the 62nd floor. Jun shakes his head. There's a worldwide shortage and they still haven't gotten an answer. Jun notices Juhyuk, who immediately starts blushing. Bro cannot handle being looked at by a pretty girl. When she asks who he is, he starts stammering, completely unable to form a sentence. Bro turned into a human loading screen. Finally, he just blurts out that he's here to sell items, and, hey, he happened to find something. If they're short on light attribute gear, he pulls out the holy sword and offers it to them. Gon's eyes go wide. She immediately asks if she can take a closer look. As her hand gets close, a system window pops up revealing the sword's insane stats. It's the holy sword of the paladin commander. It gets a huge damage and crit boost against undead. This is impossible. She's never seen an item this lit before. She whirls around and grabs Juhyuk. The red face, she begs him, "Please, let me borrow this, just once. I'll do anything." Her words send Juhyuk's brain into absolute overdrive. He's not just thinking, he's projecting a whole wedding scenario. Bro is cooking. The delusion keeps rolling with a full-on honeymoon montage, where he actually asks if they should have a baby. Get this, she wants to name the kid Bong Holy Sword. He just laughs and leans in for a kiss. And then, snap back to reality. Don's voice yanks him right out of his daydream. Turns out, she was just tearfully asking if she could please borrow the holy sword. Yeah, that was a wild delusion. He quickly agrees, telling her to try it out. She's so grateful she again promises she'll do anything for him. Now fully kitted out, she declares she's heading straight for the 62nd floor. As she vanishes, Juhyuk's main concern is whether he can sell that old sword for a good price later. Gun enters the Black Tower. Her mission is to defeat 20 dark zombies on the 62nd floor. She's immediately face to face with the undead, a creature that definitely shouldn't be walking around. The monster's disgusting energy makes her tremble. It's a tension she can never quite get used to. The holy sword starts glowing, but she's worried its light seems a little dimmer than her other gear. With no other choice, she steels herself. Facing the enemy is a player's destiny, after all. She parries the attack, but a wave of dark aura immediately hits her. Her body feels heavy, and the crushing dark energy forces her down to one knee. This is bad. Just then, a system notification pops up. The holy sword's effect, Steadfast Mind, activates. The dark zombie recoils from the light, and her strike lands, dealing critical damage and wiping out the dark aura. With the debuff gone, she unleashes a storm of critical hits, completely obliterating the monster. She stares in disbelief, covered in monster blood. That was easy? Back at the office, the agent is anxiously checking his watch. It's been 2 hours. He's getting nervous. Usually after a failed run, she'd be back by now. Suddenly, a portal flashes open. Speak of the devil, she's back. Gun stumbles out, immediately asking for a healing potion. Juhyuk worries that the sword just wasn't enough. After she chugs the potion, he welcomes her back and cautiously asks if the sword was any good. Without saying a word, she lunges forward and wraps him in a massive hug, leaving him totally flabbergasted. Juhyuk's brain has officially left the server. He's internally panicking about her being so aggressive, which of course triggers another one of his delusions. She thanks him, admitting she would have failed without the sword. With a triumphant, teary smile, she announces that the 62nd floor clear was a success. She's so confident, she thinks she could even clear up to the 66th floor now. Team leader Jun just yells, "Yes!" What a relief. The agent thinks how bad it would have been if that traitor Yu Chelman got his hands on this thing. He's fascinated by Juhyuk. How does one guy pull S++ clears and find items like this all alone? Gon mentions the sword is pretty damaged now. Juhyuk just shrugs, saying he was planning to toss it anyway. The agent assures them the agency's craftsmen can repair it, and management will cover all the costs. He then advises Juhyuk not to sell the sword, since Gun will need it for the higher floors. Instead, Jun makes a shocking proposal. We will rent it. He explains that since few countries have even reached the 60th floors, they can lend it out to other nations, for a whopping 10 billion won per use. The deal is almost too good to be true. Juhyuk is so excited he can barely contain himself. He happily agrees to let the management department handle all the rental stuff for him. As a thank you, Juhyuk offers to rent the sword to them first for only 1 billion. Later, Juhyuk is back in his kitchen, giddy while making a huge pot of balsam. 10 billion won per rental is just insane. Today is piping hot balsam, eat plenty. Cossack and Gobang are overjoyed, moved to tears that their summoner cooked for them personally. He just gave them a whole new reason to live. Juhyuk flashes a brilliant capitalist smile. He tells them to eat 1 million won's worth, because he's finally rich. Meanwhile, the news explodes. Gaon's 62nd floor clear, all thanks to Juhyuk's sword, turned Korea's crisis into a new opportunity. 10 days later, after grinding the 28th floor repeatedly, the moment Juhyuk has been waiting for is here. His random summon cooldown is finally over. He's pulling out all the stops for good luck. He scrubbed himself clean and put on fresh clothes. He's even been fasting since yesterday, sitting in quiet meditation. He's starving, but he needs to focus. Lastly, he sets out a bowl of purified water as the final countdown ticks away. With his summons watching, he kneels and prays with all his might. Please, LSSR. Only LSSR. Cossack tries to be encouraging, saying, surely another guy like our meatball won't come out? Juhyuk shoots him a dirty look. And what's wrong with Mr. Meatball? He defends Gobang, reminding Cossack how many S++ clears they got because of him. Cossack stammers, but it's too late. Gobang flashes a smug grin. Juhyuk forces himself to refocus. Okay, it's time. The countdown hits 0. With his hands clasped, Juhyuk screams, "Random summon," praying for a high-grade pull. The room explodes with an intense purple light as a massive summoning circle appears. Within the swirling energy, a slender, graceful figure begins to take shape. A gentle voice thanks him for the summon. Kneeling before him is a woman in a traditional hanbok, introducing herself as Kyun Rei. He quickly checks her stats, but something is weird. Her grade and type are completely unknown. Anyway, Rei is a special super rare shaman, but Juhyuk is still freaking out like a scaredy cat. Cossack is just like, oh, it is a woman, but Juhyuk is in full-on panic mode, asking what in the world they should do. Suddenly, a spiritual sword and bells appear out of thin air. Kyun Rei catches them and swears to devote her entire strength to Master Bong. Juhyuk finally connects the dots. The sword, the bells, the outfit. My guy, you summoned a shaman. The friendly introduction gets cut short. Rei flies into a rage, calling Cossack an insolent cur just for looking at her. She accuses him of having lecherous eyes and threatens a severe flogging. Cossack is just confused, saying he was only curious. She warns him that harboring dark thoughts about her will bring divine punishment. Meanwhile, a terrified Juhyuk tries to calm things down. When she turns to Juhyuk, he flinches, but her entire attitude flips. She tells her young master he can look as much as he wants. The double standard is real. Juhyuk is absolutely stoked. Her rank is the same as Cossack's upgraded form. This is a total win. Her full title is the strict, solemn, and serious head shaman. Juhyuk realizes her personality is not an act, she is the real deal. He wonders if his prayer ritual actually worked, then dives into her memories to see her past. He is immediately transported to a grand, ancient palace. It turns out Kyun Rei was a princess, but she was obsessed with shamanism and joined the imperial shrine. Then, in classic tragic backstory fashion, her uncle usurped the throne and murdered her family. Enraged, she vowed revenge, performing a forbidden death hex ritual. Her uncle tried to counter it, but he was no match for the greatest shaman of her generation. She unleashed the full power of the death hex. Nothing could stop her. The hex completely consumed the usurper. But casting a curse for revenge is a cosmic no-no, and it rebounded, ending her own life. Juhyuk pulls out of her memories, a bitter taste in his mouth. He approaches Rei and tells her he has a question. He asks who founded the Heavenly Empire, and she names Emperor Gyeonhwan. That name hits Juhyuk like a truck. That is a real person from his history. He realizes his summons are from parallel universes. He confirms that in her world, a different kingdom unified the country. It all clicks now. Cossack also came from a world where the timeline diverged. Man, that royal charisma is intense. But more importantly, Juhyuk is starving from his summoning fast. So, who wants ramen? Cossack is pumped for Master Bong's famous ramen, but Rei goes ballistic. She screams at the other two, furious that they would let their master cook for them. Cossack tries to pull rank, but she is not having it. She calls him a fool and threatens to cast a curse to teach him some manners. The mere mention of a curse sends Cossack into a panic. He immediately grabs Gobang and they rush to the kitchen to make the ramen instead. After they eat, Juhyuk asks Rei if she is ready for the tower. She loyally accepts and they are instantly warped to the 30th floor, a dense forest. Juhyuk immediately sees the perks of having her around. She keeps Cossack completely in check, scolding him for having no manners. Juhyuk feels great and decides to aim for just 10 kills. But his summons are on high alert, vowing to protect him and wipe out all enemies. Rei gives them a nod of approval. The mission pops up. Defeat 80 trolls and 1 twin-headed troll. Right on cue, a horde appears. Juhyuk is curious how a shaman even fights. Is she gonna cast a death hex? But instead, she just summons a portable Bluetooth speaker. She explains that it is a bit embarrassing, since she usually needs a master drummer. But since she is traveling alone, this will have to do. As the squad faces the trolls, the shaman presses her finger and a green play button materializes. The ritual is about to begin. Suddenly, everyone's eyes glow. Rei begins her ritual, chanting for blessings. She is performing a full-on shamanic ritual inside the tower. A brilliant light erupts from her, sending out a massive shockwave of pure blue energy that washes over Juhyuk and his team. The effect is insane. Gobang starts growing bigger, his skin turning hard as metal. With a surge of new strength, he effortlessly demolishes a line of trolls. Cossack is a blur of motion, slicing through enemies with unbelievable speed. His senses are heightened to a killer degree, and he is loving every second of it. Juhyuk is floored. He thought she was a debuffer, but she can cast massive buffs too? Not only that, the trolls are all moving slower. She applied buffs and debuffs at the same time. Feeling invincible, Juhyuk's fighting spirit boils over. He declares the alpha male is making his move and charges forward, only to be immediately yanked back by Rei. Rei scolds him, asking why he would lower himself to fight such lowly creatures. He even orders her to let go, but she just says, "No, you must not." And just like that, the mission is over. All 80 trolls and the boss are dead. While Ju-hyuk levels up, he throws a tantrum because he did not get to kill a single monster. As Ju-hyuk trembles with frustration from being sidelined, he looks up at his new summon, Dal-Rei, completely dumbfounded. Because instead of scolding him for his tantrum, she is crying? Ju-hyuk is completely lost. 1 second, he's getting a lecture. The next, his SSS rank shaman is having a total meltdown. She sobs that she was worried she might lose him. Her voice cracks as she asks why she always loses everyone important to her. And just like that, it all clicks into place. He's been a complete idiot. He remembers her backstory. She lost her father, was betrayed by her uncle, and watched her siblings die. She even cast a death hex that she knew would kill her, just to get revenge. That's a whole new level of trauma. And he gets it. His summons aren't just high-ranked tools, they're actual people with real feelings. Her tough, bossy attitude was just a front all along, a shield to hide how scared she really was. He gently places a hand on her head. He softly promises he won't do anything dangerous again. Right on cue, Cossack and Gobang sprint back, hyped from their victory. Cossack asks why Ju-hyuk didn't join the fight. Seeing Dal-Rei's tears, Cossack assumes Ju-hyuk scolded her. Ju-hyuk shuts that down fast, saying Cossack actually deserved it. Suddenly, Dal-Rei whips around. She yells at Cossack, asking how he dares approach her master covered in monster blood. She even brandishes her shaman bells at him. Ju-hyuk immediately begs her to chill out and put the bells away. With the drama over and the mission complete, they're warped out of the tower. Back in his apartment, their ghostly forms appear. Ju-hyuk thanks them for their hard work and dismisses them. But then a system window pops up. He's getting a new perk for collecting 30 platinum badges. His eyes light up with excitement. What kind of loot did he just get? It's a skill cooldown reset ticket that's been added to his inventory. He immediately knows what this means. This is a jackpot item. He can use his random summon skill one more time. He's tempted to use it right now, but holds back. With his current team, it's not worth it. He'll save it for a truly hopeless situation. He even chuckles, thinking he'll probably never need it. Oh, my sweet summer child. Meanwhile, the news is going wild. Nam-ga-eun followed up her 62nd floor clear by clearing the 63rd as well. During a press conference, the administration credits the Holy Sword for her victory against the undead. A reporter asks about their plans now that their star player, Yu Chol-min, has defected. The administrator's face turns grim. He promises to clear the 66th floor in a month, and then declares they won't lend the Holy Sword to any country helping Chol-min. Shots fired. Across the sea, Chol-min absolutely loses it. He hurls his glass, completely shattering his giant television. He screams that if they had an item like that, they should have given it to him from the start. Bro, you literally betrayed them. His doorbell chimes. A man in a suit walks in, sees the mess, and asks what happened. Chol-min just brushes it off. Man gets right to business. Since Korea is gatekeeping the Holy Sword, the higher-ups in Japan need Chol-min to start climbing again. The pressure is on, so Chol-min agrees. He'll clear the 57th floor first thing tomorrow. The agent loves this and suggests a live broadcast to calm everyone down. Chol-min is fine with it, but once the agent leaves, Chol-min's face twists into a snarl. He vows to get his hands on the Holy Sword and its owner. Back at Ju-hyuk's place, he's scrolling through his phone, reading all the news about Nam-ga-eun and the mysterious Holy Sword owner. The comments section is on fire. Everyone is celebrating Korea's new hero and dragging Chol-min through the mud. Ju-hyuk just giggles, basking in all the anonymous praise. His summons stare at him, completely unimpressed. His doorbell rings. Ah, it's finally here. It's a massive delivery of 10 tubs of premium ice cream. He turns down the delivery guy's offer to help carry it all inside. He lays out his prize. 10 tubs of the fancy ice cream he used to only dream of buying. With a billion won on the way, this is nothing. He proudly cracks one open, feeling like he's finally made it. There's a new house rule. The summons won't eat until he takes the first bite. He takes a spoonful and gives them the signal. Gobang and Cossack immediately dig in like animals. Dal-Rei just scoffs at their lack of manners. She keeps her royal posture, saying one must always control their emotions, no matter how good the food is. Cossack tells her to just relax and eat it. She takes a delicate, tiny bite, and her eyes go wide with pure bliss. This stuff is delicious. Cossack immediately points at her. Whoa, what was that expression? I saw everything. Dal-Rei quickly tries to regain her composure. She quickly changes the subject, saying she's never had anything this sweet, not even in the Imperial Palace. She thanks her young master for the treat. Ju-hyuk just gives a thumbs up and promises to buy her more later. Dal-Rei then asks if anything is troubling him. Before he can answer, Cossack jumps in, ready to spill all the tea. Cossack eagerly tells her all about the traitorous scoundrel named Yu Chol-min. Hearing about the betrayal, Dal-Rei erupts. How dare he endanger his own country and bow to Japanese invaders, she roars. She declares that he will pay the price. Cossack, ever the hype man, is all for it. Dal-Rei is ready to curse him, but Ju-hyuk stops her. He tells her to forget it and stay out of it. He reminds her that a death hex has a rebound effect. He's not letting her get hurt just to take out some trash. Cossack immediately flips his script, praising Ju-hyuk for being so wise. Touched by his concern, Dal-Rei clarifies. She isn't planning to cast a death hex. She is going to cast Karma. Joo-hyuk is confused. Karma? She explains that it's not a hex, it's a spell that just fast-forwards the payback someone deserves for their actions. Since there's no harm to her, Joo-hyuk figures there's no reason not to do it. Sounds good to him. With his permission, Dalray begins the ritual, a green glow coming from an item in her hand. A moment later, Cossack materializes back in the room. Joo-hyuk asks if he got what they needed. With a proud grin, Cossack holds up his prize. It's the TV remote that the traitor used. Joo-hyuk praises his work. Cossack puffs out his chest, boasting that he's a stealth specialist. He explains it was easy to get Chulmin's address from team leader Jun, since the traitor abandoned all his stuff. Dalray takes the remote and pulls a sharp pin from her hair. It's time to cast Karma. With a swift motion, she slices her own finger, drawing a single drop of blood to begin the ritual. Dalray begins the ritual, calling on the gods of heaven and earth to bear witness. She marks Chulmin's TV remote with her blood. She chants some spell and the remote begins to levitate, glowing with a strange power. She calls on the heavens to judge his deeds, and the remote erupts in a flash of light. With a heavy thud, the remote crashes to the floor, now a solid black slab. Dalray calmly informs him that it is finished. Now, they just have to wait for the heavens to deliver the verdict. She explains the rules of the spell. If his sins are light, his misfortune will be minor. If his sins are heavy, a great misfortune will befall him. Meanwhile, in Japan, a massive crowd cheers as an announcer introduces their special guest, Japan's greatest player. And Japan's greatest player is none other than the traitor, Chulmin. Now going by Risan, he's kicking back for a live, televised interview. The interviewers hype him up for clearing the 57th floor. He plays it humble, saying he just wants to encourage the people. When the host tells him to be safe, Chulmin boasts he cleared the 57th floor in only 8 hours last time. Now that he's on floor 66, he promises to absolutely crush that record and do it in 5. He stands up, soaking in the cheers. As long as I am here, Japan is safe. I will prove it to you right now. And just like that, he teleports straight into the 57th floor of Japan's Black Tower. Mission pops up. Hunt 15 fire wyverns. Should be a walk in the park. He's got a confident look. He's totally mastered this floor's patterns, so failing would be the real surprise. As he gets ready to move, a sudden, weird chill runs right down his spine. Shaking it off, he summons a glowing crossbow, planning to snipe the monsters from a safe distance. He lets a bolt fly, and the purple energy slams right into a wyvern's leg. Monster roars and charges. He's not worried though. He'll just kite it and switch to melee. He lines up another shot, but something's wrong. The arrow just curves in mid-air, missing completely. Bro is fuming, thinking his calculations were perfect. He swaps to a sword and shield as a second wyvern joins the fight. He parries and dodges, but it's getting weird. No matter what he does, he cannot land a single critical hit. Switching back to the crossbow, he decides not to let his guard down. He takes a deep breath to aim and immediately sneezes, sending the bolt flying wide. Of course, the stray shot just happens to nail another wyvern in the eye. Now he's facing 3 of them. This is ridiculous. He's surrounded and knows he can't forfeit without being humiliated on live TV. To make things worse, all 3 wyverns unleash their fire breath at the exact same time. With 0 time to think, he panics and pops all his ultimate skills at once in a desperate counterattack. When the dust settles, 3 wounded wyverns are on the ground. Chulmin is panting, but he's alive. He's only beaten 5 in an hour, but a grin starts to form. Beating the record now will make an even bigger splash. He taunts the last weakened wyvern as it spits a pathetic fire blast. A perfect setup where I can't possibly fail. His plan is to step back and finish it with 1 clean shot, but his foot lands on something soft and crackly. He just stepped into a nest full of hatching wyvern eggs. His face contorts in pure horror. He's thinking, are you kidding me? Baby wyverns start crying and their squeals attract a whole new flock. This impossible string of bad luck is just too much. He snaps, screaming, what the heck is happening? Deciding that public shame is better than getting eaten, he frantically forfeits the mission. Back in the studio, a Japanese idol group is mid-cheer when a flash of light deposits a defeated Chulmin on stage. He looks like a mess, sweaty and panicked, and immediately starts chugging a health potion. The host nervously asks how it went, but Chulmin just loses it, screaming like a spoiled kid. The news cycle is absolutely brutal. Headlines call him a fraud and report that he failed a second attempt 2 days later. Chulmin is left a broken man, while Korean netizens are absolutely feasting online. But amidst all the mockery, a new alert pops up. Another S++ rank has been achieved in South Korea, the 31st in a row. On top of that, Namgaeun just cleared the 64th floor's dark spheres in a blistering 3 hours. Meanwhile, over at the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, officials are talking about a request to borrow the Holy Sword. A top American player named Gerald is insisting on testing it. The Secretary of Homeland Security, Macmillan, reluctantly agrees. Just then, the Director of Tower Strategy, Antonio, brings more news. Japan's Prime Minister's office is called, asking about letting a U.S. player get temporary naturalization. Macmillan gets it. Their new guy flopped, and now Japan is desperate. A wicked smile spreads across his face. He tells Antonio to agree, but to drag the negotiations out. A desperate Japan, he figures, will pay anything. That's a wrap on this recap. Hit that subscribe button to help us keep pumping out awesome content. Catch you in the next one.